Manifestations. Man up. Manifestations. Man up. Manifestations.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
Manifestations. Man up. Manifestations. Man up. Manifestations. Man up.
A place where we inform.
Manifestations.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
You gotta eat what you kill. You gotta go out there. You gotta hunt for your meals.
We all have that ability to connect with people, to be that motivational person in somebody's life.
You gotta let people know there's certain lines you don't cross, and that there's gonna be consequences if you do.
Man up.
If you are an adult and you are in a relationship, that person's emotions are not your responsibility.
Man up. Manifestations. Man up. Manifestations. Man up. Manifestations.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
The devil, during slavery, destroyed the masculinity or manhood of the so-called Negro. No man. No man. Right now you got to be trained all over again to be a man.
When someone is obligated to do something, it is binding upon them to do it. And failure to do it causes reaction.
Man up.
Position make you rich. I don't have that type of richness. My richness is life forever.
If that people knew their glorious past, if that people knew their glorious past, if that people knew their glorious past, then they would be more inclined to respect themselves.
I'm not saying I'm going to rule the world or I'm going to change the world, but I guarantee that I will spark the brain that will change the world. And that's our job, is to spark somebody else watching us.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
Manifestations. Man up. Manifestations. Man up. Manifestations. Man up.
A place where we inform.
Manifestations.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
You want to tell me about yourself? Go get your friends. I'll tell you who you are based on who your friends are.
Don't just live and die. That's an ugly existence. Make your life matter. Make your life count. Live a life where people can actually mourn you for the things you left behind, not just because you were around and existed.
We need strong black nuclear family.
Yes. Yes.
That's what it is. Mother, father, son, daughter, all in the same house with a focus on the family unit as a whole.
We had Tulsa, Atlanta, New Jersey, Detroit. We had Rosewood. We had Black Wall Streets all over.
The Republicans aren't for us, but the Democrats aren't for us either. And we should have no alliance to any political party. We only have alliance to what is in our own best interest.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
Manifestations. Man up. Manifestations. Man up. Manifestations. Man up.
A place where we inform.
Manifestations.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
At the end of the day, as men in the community, we must stand together and be counted, because people look to us for guidance, leadership, and protection. And if we are not about that business, we are not on our job. Here we have grown-ass man conversations in the spirit of that purpose. Anthony Malcolm, Bobby Drake, Major Gage. We are. This is Manifestations 2020.
Manifestations. Man up. Manifestations.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
All right, that's what's up. Welcome back to another week of a phenomenal podcast show that we have for you on Manifestations 2020. All right, a lot of things have been, a lot of
once
great
again,
things
it's
been
so.
going on. A lot of great things been going down this week. I do want to acknowledge Man, shout out to the work that Major Gage put in. Shout out to the work Bobby's been putting in. Man, you guys got to understand, we just hit 1.1K followers, yo.
Yeah, buddy.
Yo,
Yeah.
that's crazy. We was just at 6 and some change the other day.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Going down.
Man, shout out to that, man. I appreciate you brothers for definitely doing everything out there. Man,
the work gonna talk. The work gonna talk.
Yeah.
The work gonna talk. Don't worry about the jaw jacking. The work gonna talk.
The work gonna talk. We appreciate you too, Ant. You out here putting in work. You know what I'm saying?
Man,
yes,
you know, shit, bro. I run better like Voltron, dog. You feel me?
Yeah.
I can run out here like the damn leopard or the fucking monkey, but dog, when we come together like Voltron, that's powerful, bro.
Yes, sir.
So I appreciate y'all. You know what I'm saying? I really do appreciate y'all for that. So that was something that I really wanted to point out because I didn't even know till I started putting the link out. I'm like over there, I go back on our page and I'm like, followers 1.1K. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's going down.
There's an opening. There's an opening. That's what's up. Yeah. We have a great show for you guys tonight. As you guys already know, the topic is self-destructive behavior. I think it's something that needs to be addressed. And we'll be addressing a lot of that tonight. But before we get into that, I definitely want to give a shout out to my homegirl, super dope friend of mine's, Hilo News. She definitely put ours out there. She shared our link and our flyer today. She's always been a fan of, you know, supporting us and doing what we do. So we always return the favor by showing support to Hilo News. And the sister's pretty dope because she has a new show that she just aired with Papa Keith called it's called That Part. And their first guest they just had the other day was Oliver Gilbert, and most of y'all probably know about Oliver Gilbert, especially if you're in the Miami Gardens area, the body of work that he has done, and then he moved on to the commissioner of Miami-Dade County. So, you know, he's putting in work over there as well. So definitely wanted to give him a shout out because that interview was pretty dope. And here is her and Papa Keith on air. That is Jade Tate, aka the CEO of Hilo News on the left, and that is Papa Keith, aka the CEO of Just Vote. I believe that's his. If not, I apologize for that. But they joined together and they made this podcast called That Part. All right, so we could get down and get into the real nitty gritty of what needs to be done, the real information, just our kind of hyper local news that gets down to the core of, you know, the information that really needs to be known, and not all this other bullcrap stuff that's been out for years. The old black media is dead, family. Y'all gotta understand that, man. The old black media been dead, bro. Nobody's listening to the Boule Bird, Roland Martin. Nobody's listening to the Rude and all these other publications that's been around. Like it's not effective no more. You know, that's why you're seeing a lot of them getting kicked and booted off of platforms. Look at Hot 105. You know, I have mad love for Jill Tracy. But the reality of it is that, listen, after a while, man, you gotta move because you're not drawing in the crowd that they need you to draw in. Every company is about numbers. You know what I'm saying? And if you're not being the buzzing air, if you're not spitting what the people really want to hear out here, not what you think that they want to hear, you got to keep up with times. And this time, this younger generation, they don't want the fluff. Our generation was built off fluff. This generation is like, yo, give us straight real deal and let's operate off of that. So that's why you have Hilo News and Papa Keith doing good things in the community, because they also attach themselves to grassroots organizations and organizers who are out here doing the grunt work that is telling the people what needs to be done and how it needs to be done, and educating them on what they can do in their part in order to correct and make great tangible changes. Right. So all that old media shit, nobody's listening to that. Nobody's watching that. That's why the BETs are collapsing. Everything is going downhill. So this is a perfect time for the Manversations, the Hilo News. There's so many other platforms that's rising up now that is getting that much needed air and space, because people don't want to hear the BS no more. They want to hear the real talk. You know what I'm saying? We have too many years of the BS and ain't nothing getting done. Then you have people like us and everybody else that's giving you the real deal, and automatically you seeing changes. We talk about, as men uplifting men, you're seeing the changes there. We talk about how you got to go out here and hold people accountable. We're holding men and women accountable. You're seeing the changes there. Major's been on here talking about he's got married. He's been out here leading by example, and friends around him and people on our platform calling in, telling us they getting married. You know what I'm saying? Because we're sitting here giving them the real deal. We're not filling anybody with fluff. That doesn't get anybody anywhere, and it only puts us in a continuous circle as a dog chasing its tail. Nothing productive is getting done. So definitely, man, we want you guys to understand, to see when progress is manifested, you can't stop that. It's gonna grow organically, and that's what makes the most powerful people in the world is the ones that can grow a following, air of people that understand what we're doing and the powers behind it. That's an unstoppable force. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Jason Black, shout out to Professor Truth, shout out to the Tyreeks. They're out there doing the grassroots work, and it's rotating and it's progressing, and they're knocking out everybody in the path. You know what I'm saying? So definitely, man, just wanted to give that shout out to the sister on what they're doing, and Papa Keith and everybody else that's out here trying to make sure that our community is getting the information to propel themselves to the next level. All right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Definitely. All right. So tonight's show, we wanted to get in with breaking down some of the destructive behaviors. And before we get into that, I know that Bobby wanted to take us into church today. So I'm definitely going to play this video of Bobby leading us into church today, because this is a sermon based on our topic for today. All right?
Stay away from people who act like a victim in a problem that they created. There are people like that in the world, or some of you obviously know some of them. But they act like a victim in a problem that they created. That's gaslighting. There are people that do that. My antidote to that is this: spend more time with people with whom you have a common future instead of a common past. Spend more time. I'm not saying that I'm not saying to cut people off. This is about prioritizing where you give a larger percentage of your time. We love people that have been a part of our history, that have helped us to grow to who we are and where we are. We thank those people. Thank the teachers in your life. Thank the people that have poured into you. Thank the people that have helped you to become who you are. I'm not saying that you forget them, but spend more time with people with whom you have a common future. Stay away from.
All right. So definitely, I'll let Bobby Drake take us in with that one and elaborate a little bit more on that video, since he sent it and shared it. So go ahead, Bobby Drake.
Pleasantries to the family. Hope everyone has had a wonderful and hopefully a luxurious week since we last seen each other. For the most part, the brother, he said what he said, all right? Speaks for itself, but you have to be mindful of people, and again, tying it with the overall theme, self-destructive behaviors. People who self-destruct, very often, they're habitually stuck in a time loop. You know, if you ever seen any of those TV episodes from any of the numerous series out there, movies where you have a person that's doing the whole deja vu, Freaky Friday type thing where they wake up and it's, regular day. They go through the day, something happens, and they wake up the next day only to find out it's the same day they just went through and they're just stuck. That's what it's like when people are trapped in a cycle of self-destructive behavior and have self-destructive habits. They are always perpetually going to be starting from zero all over again. They build up, they might get some momentum, they might get a full head of steam, they might have taken 15, 20, 30 steps, and then they do something. In most cases, something that they've done before, so it's not like it's something brand new, it's a new twist, a new wrinkle. They do something, they succumb to an old habit or bad choices or faulty thinking, and then their monopoly piece gets bumped all the way back to go. And just like the card will tell you, it says, do not pass go, do not collect $200, don't do anything else, don't do nothing. You right back at square one all over again. And they got to pick up the pieces and they got to try and make something shake again. And if they have not taken care of that bad habit or those habits that they had before, then it doesn't matter how far along the line they get, they're just going to get right back to zero all over again. Mm-hmm. And so what the pastor was speaking to is spend less time worried with people that you have a common past with and focus on people who share a common future or people whose future you would like to emulate. Just personally speaking, one of the things that I've done is that in my crew, now of course, I have my same old friends that I'm always spend time with for the most part, and they're solid people. They have character, they have morals, they have values. Good, solid people, people that I could trust, people that I know are good around my family. I spend time with their family, they spend time with my family, so we solid, we good. And this isn't a knock on them because they're not in those category of people that have the self-destructive behavior. But talking about your common future, one of the people that I find myself spending more time around with now is my head jiu-jitsu instructor. And aside from the fact that he's pretty funny, he's pretty snarky, his personality is for everyone, but it resonates with me in a number of respects. One of the things I like about spending time with him outside of just learning techniques and seeing the way he views things from a martial arts standpoint is that in his personal life, he's also very successful. He's an attorney, does very well for himself, and he has a lot of interests that people typically who are in higher tax brackets are involved in. So I like spending time with him and hearing the way he talks, the way he thinks about different things. And so our group will typically go out and we'll spend time together outside of just the mats of training. We'll watch, UFC fights, or we'll have, maybe it's some other get together. One of our folks just had a baby shower. He's a father for the first time, and I wasn't able to attend. But he pulled up and showed love, and some more other people pulled up as well. They had a great time. But even our regular conversations, I'm listening to basic things like how he processes language. And just things, there was a little conversation we had the other day where he's talking about text messaging, and it was just like a little back and forth that him and a couple other people have, and I'm just listening. But I'm listening to him talk about the way how he addresses things, the way how other people addresses things, and how he doesn't let people sit there and dwell on mistakes. So if somebody says something that's incorrect, he'll respond a certain way, and it might seem penetrative, but he'll keep on responding that way, not to be an asshole, but because he's trying to get them to recognize, hey, you're off, you're making a mistake, fix it. And I'm thinking back, and I understand full well that how to some people that can seem like it's being extra, it's being petty. It doesn't matter. Why is he harping on something as little as this? That's trivial. Who wants to be around that? But I'm understanding that success is not a button that you press. When a person is successful, and it's possible that a person can be successful by coming into wealth, by just knowing all the right people. Maybe they just play the lottery, they just want a bunch of money, and that's how it comes to them. Success can come to you a lot of ways. But as anyone will tell you, getting to the mountaintop is the easy part. The hard part is staying on top of that thing. So you might luck up into some success. Maybe you find out that you got an uncle that just passed away and left his fortune to you. That happens every now and then. But if you're not a successful person, if you don't have good habits, have not been able to avoid or delete the self-destructive behaviors, then what's going to happen is you might reach to success, but you're going to be just visiting and you're going to be on the way back down the mountain slope sooner than you know, oftentimes with more problems because of your success than you had before you got there.
Mm.
So if you want to see what successful people do, you have to be in those spaces and you have to spend time with those people if you have that privilege. So due to just our passion for health and exercise and martial arts, I'm able to be in this space and I'm grateful for that. But find those people when you have that opportunity and spend time and see how they think and understand that that nitpicking, that triviality that you might be exposed to, understand that it's a symptom of the overall success process and how to stay there. And so they're not successful because they trivialize responding to text messages or just social conversations, but just like with a cold, the sneezing isn't the illness, right? The fever and the sweats and everything, that's not the illness. That's a symptom of it. So when you look at these symptoms of success of people who are where you want to be, you can start building off of that. You can fake it till you make it in a way. You can start picking up these habits, building these habits until they become your own. And now you're building a portfolio of what it takes to get there and to be there. And so when the opportunity does come your way and you seize it, now you're in the position, but because of the habits that you've picked up from the people who are where you want to be, you're seeing what they're doing, you're understanding how they think, you're now in a better position to stay there and not get shifted when hardship or adversity or whatever comes your way. So it's important that you learn how to find and identify these self-destructive behaviors that you have, dead them as soon as you can, and the people in your life who have those behaviors, like the pastor said, you don't have to necessarily cut them off, but you better make sure that you're turning down the time that you spend with them and you're turning up the time that you're spending with people who are in the future you're trying to get for yourself. So that's my 3 cents on that. Definitely want to hear what you brothers have to say. Go ahead and pour into them, man.
That's Major. You want to jump on your mic off?
You're muting the gems, man. You're muting the gems, man.
Yeah, I know. I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't know what's wrong with me. What's up? Yo, you said a mouthful. You said a mouthful, gang. Let me tell you, nothing could be closer to the truth. And, we need to, as a people, really start to talk about the elephant in the room. And that is this self-destructive behavior. How many times you look at somebody, he's out here, he seems like he's got everything. He is popping. And just one dumb thing that he did just messed up everything. Everything. You know what I'm saying? Now he's in jail. Even if he's not in jail, now he got all kind of fines. He got a permanent smear on his record. I mean, you can talk about any number of people. The most recent example I can think of is Diddy. You know what I'm saying? And we don't know about everything, that they're accusing him of being true, but we have a pretty good idea that quite a bit of it was true. You know what I'm saying? Even before all these allegations, even on that show, Making the Band, I saw him exhibiting toxic behavior. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I don't like what you did. Yeah, you might not have it together. Why the fuck you got to walk to go get me some cheesecake? That's bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just, you're going out of your way to humiliate somebody for no reason. You know what I'm saying? And it may not affect you at the moment, but that's going to come back and bite you in the ass later. That's what I was talking about with Chris Brown, taking these pictures with all these hood rats that are posting up or whatever the case may be. Talk one of them talking about how she'd rather have a picture with Chris Brown than her relationship with her boyfriend. You know what I'm saying? So that's self-destructive behavior on both ends from where I see it, because that's a breathtakingly stupid thing to say on her behalf and on his behalf. It's just not a good look for you as a problematic dude already. You've already had troublesome relationships with women in the industry. Now you going out here taking all these, sexually provocative pictures with these women, and they're paying you to do it. All it takes is for one of them to say, I felt uncomfortable. And that's your ass, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're already looking for a reason to come after you, and you got to have the presence of mind to know the situation and know, okay, it's best that I just lay low. He's been laying low for how long, and they still come for him. You understand? So now you out here doing things. I'm telling you, I smell a setup. You feel me? Like there's no way that this ends well, and we have to be smarter than that. We got to think outside the box, especially as Black people. We can't afford the self-destructive behavior. You know what I'm saying? We got to be twice as good. You know what I'm saying? We got to show up on time every day. We got to have 2 more degrees than this other person got and 5 more years of experience to even be considered. You understand? So, yeah, we have a lot of soul searching to do, and we have a lot of self-correction to do. And I see it in everything. I see it on the dating shows that we watch. These people, they come out and they just say reckless, stupid things that come back to bite them in the ass later. Everywhere I turn, I see this behavior, especially with celebrities. So that I'll land my plane there. I know you got some great content for us to get into a little more, but that's just where I am with it initially. That's how I'm seeing it coming out the gate.
I got you for sure. Great points. I did want to give. I'm glad you said something about Chris Brown because I did have something for Chris Brown.
Okay.
Chris Brown got in the news for something I thought was pretty dope. So this woman paid $1,100 to meet and greet with Chris Brown, and when Chris Brown saw her, he refunded her money and also gave her an extra $10K along with these beautiful pictures. And they call Chris Brown the GOAT because, as you know, right here, as you can see in this picture, she looks like she is that paraplegic? Is she on crutches?
Yeah, she's.
Yeah, so just having empathy to know, like, if this woman, she could use the money in many different ways.
That's dope.
To come and see me, and then pay $1,000, and then he's like, "Yo, you know what? I'm gonna give you back your money, and then I'm gonna give you $10,000 on top of that."
That's
because
dope.
I know that you just wanted to see me as a fan, and I must have been the highlight of your life to keep you going. My music keeps you going, makes you feel like you are a normal person as far as, having the abilities to do what you do. Maybe she might be a great dancer, you know what I'm saying, because of Chris Brown. So she wanted to pay that extra money to probably see him and tell him. And I guess that little moment sparked up a little empathy in him to go back and do that. I thought that was super dope. And I
That's
just wanted
dope.
to highlight that.
Chris has always been, and I've been a Chris Brown fan from the time he came out. He's one of those artists that, if you're in our generation, we came up with Chris Brown. So we saw him from, when he was this small little light, bright teen dancing everything to where he is now. And one thing that I can say that for all the things that he's been through, especially the negative things, he has always been, from all the reports, he's always been top tier as far as being courteous and being kind and looking out for his fans. He's always been that dude. And despite the issues that he's had with women and everything else, people accusing him falsely of assault and everything else, even when conventional wisdom would say you need to, be more restrained, maybe this isn't a good idea, he has never let any of that deter him from still being out there. So big ups to Chris as usual. What I can say is, because I agree with what you were saying, Major, about that, about it being an easy mark. And unfortunately, in this world we live in, it seems to be that the people that have good hearts and good intentions, in a lot of cases, that sets them up. They definitely win, but they definitely get set up a lot of the times for taking L's. I really, truly hope that the investment that he pays into his fans over time, when he finally leaves and it's all said and done, that it will have paid more to him than it will have taken from him. And I hope that won't be used against him ultimately and be the cost of his career and his demise. I really hope so.
Real talk.
Correct. Speaking of accountability, so when we talk about the dating scene, a lot of times, we have a lot of women. I've done the what they call it again, I don't know why I got a brain freeze. But the dynamics of our page, right? Our Manifestation page on Facebook, they give you the demographics of your followers and your listeners and followers. And we have a lot of women followers. Like it is almost even with women, or we have a little bit more women than men followers. And I thought that was pretty dope because a lot of times people say, well, we hold women more accountable than men. No, we hold men accountable as well. I think you guys highlight that we highlight women more is because you don't see a lot of people out there holding women accountable. The reason why we like to hold women accountable more than any other platform is because we love our women. We see the direction that our women are going in, and we don't want it to go there because we understand how great our women are. So whenever you slip off the throne, we're there to catch you to say, hey, I got you. Make sure that you walk this way while you're on this path, because if not, you'll slip off and I might not be there to grab you. And now you might end up being fatally thrown away to the side. So we're here as a safety rail. We're here to make sure that you're continuing in your greatness and you're not having the blemish that society wants to put on you, because society, Black women are the most ultimate being of gender on this planet as far as women out of all the race, because you have the strongest womb. The way your womb operates is way stronger than any other race of women. So that's why you've seen a lot of Black women that's being missing and things like that. Is because they're using your wombs to try to use you as a guinea pig so that they can have men later on down the road carry children with your womb that they're trying to do a womb transplant with. So we want to make sure that we out here protecting you. We want to make sure you out here selecting the right guy and not going down that path that could lead you into another thing that nobody might not be around to help us save you. With that being said, I did find that one of the dating errors that I think that women, especially Black women, that you guys enter in and you struggle with, I want to show you a video of, in reality of what people see. And for a woman to bring this to reality, it sends a large message. And there is accountability on both sides. I'm not going to say that men aren't accountable in this situation as well. They are. But remember, women control sex, men can control marriage. Always keep that in mind. Your power is controlling the sex. So if you guys want somebody to get tested before sex, guess what? He's going to have to get tested or you're not going to have sex with him. If you don't want to have sex with that guy, I don't care how much money he gives you, you're not going to have sex with him. You control that interaction. Know your power is in that. All right. So with that being said, let me get into this video real quick.
I have 5 kids with 5 baby mamas. Are you taking care of any of the children? Nah. Okay. I'm gonna give you your 6th child, but you're gonna take care of mine, that's because I'm special now. True, baby. True. Okay, baby.
All right. So as you see, she got on the clown makeup because she agreed to give this guy the 6th child when he's already 5 childs in and he's not paying child support or being an effective father. And I thought that was very powerful for her to do that because, a lot of women, and I've heard it recently. I think one of you guys blocked her. She's still my friend. I'm not going to say her name, but she's still my friend. One of you guys blocked her. And she just had a child. She had a child recently. And when she had her child recently, I was talking to her, dialoguing with her on a post one day. And then I think on another post I seen she was talking to a woman and she said, yeah, the reason I had a child with the guy I had a child with is because he was a great father to the other children. And that's why I end up having and sleeping with him. But now the guy is not doing for your child. So now you're back in the same situation as a deadbeat guy, even though you feel like he had the qualities of a good father. You see what I'm saying? So it's not working out in your favor, and now you're stuck in this position. And I always said, like, women will give these guys who already is out here having children the opportunity to have more children with them and create a more distance and dysfunctional household versus just grabbing somebody who don't have a child like you and then starting the basis of building a foundation. It's no different than what Major's doing. You know, he doesn't have any children, his wife doesn't have any children, and they're building a foundation from the ground up, and they will have children and be together for a long time, forever. You know what I'm saying? That's the whole premises of building that foundation. But when you have a guy who has 3 or 4 children and you say, oh, yeah, he's like a great father, then you have the 5th child from him. And now, because you're not together, he's salty. And now he's not even providing none of his responsibilities and be spiteful to you. Now you're back in the same predicament that you said that you didn't want to be in by taking a chance with a guy who didn't have children. You know what I'm saying? So I say that to say that a lot of times that self-destructing habit right there, I see a lot of women get into it because they're giving these deadbeat dads or these guys who have multiple children and they don't have the lifestyle to finance those children. You know, a lot of these celebrities, a lot of these guys follow these celebrities like a Future. Everybody wanted, most of these guys want to be a Future. And as much as we want to rag on Future, as much as we want to throw Future under the bus, at the end of the day, Future is a millionaire. So he can go ahead and give all his child's mother an adequate amount of money to basically be sufficient enough for him not to be there in order for them to do what they need to do. At the end of the day, as a man, you still need to be there physically for your child because there's a lot of things that money can't buy and a lot of things you need to instill in your child, especially if you're building a legacy. But at least he has the option to have multiple money in order for him to provide for these children so that they don't lose anything or they go without on a financial tip. You, as a man out here with 5 children and you're only making $40,000, which is the national average for a man, that's not no money. Those children aren't getting adequate amount of financial responsibility. And then at the same time, you have 4 or 5 children. You're not going to be in those places all at one time because you have a job that might sit there and demand an 8 to 12 hour shift. You see what I'm saying? So those are the self-destructing behaviors that lead to a very problematic community and society. And I'll land my plane on that. You guys want to speak on that?
Bruh, a little goddamn common sense. Can we have a little common sense, please? Bruh.
Nah.
You had this dude got 5 kids. He don't take care of them. You gonna give him this 6th child because you special. Really, bruh? Seriously? I mean, shit for brains. That's all I can think. She just got shit for brain syndrome. You dig? And you know, you can't fix stupid on that level. You know, just certain things you see, you know, I remember some time ago, there was a show that, you know, we viewed and, you know, there was this person on there who had 9 kids from 9 different men and she was married. And I guess, you know, the host of the show, the idea was to show that no matter how bad your circumstances, you can still catch, right? I guess that's the frame of mind that I'm in when I think about it. But I think about it from a different perspective. Like, why do we want to platform someone who's showing this type of dysfunction, this type of mental incapacity? Like, you know what I'm saying? Who wants to replicate that?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, unless you're talking about it in the most derogatory way as something that you absolutely do not want to do, I don't think that's a good look. You know what I'm saying? And I see way too much of that out here. And I'd like to revise your statement just a tad. Women control access to sex. Men not only control access to marriage, men control, most importantly, the pacing and management of the relationship overall.
Mm-hmm.
Once it's determined, I like you, you like me, we're having sex, the man pretty much determines where everything goes from that point.
Mm-hmm.
Which is also a reason why so many of these female relationship coaches, so-called coaches, give this horrible advice. And I realized that after a while, they don't actually facilitate anything. In relationships, women don't facilitate anything. Initially, hey, if I'm going to choose or refuse you, it's up to them. Are we going to have sex or not? It's up to them. After that, the overall pacing of the relationship and how we get to what point is all facilitated by the men. People got to understand that to understand the true dynamic of what is going on. You understand? Like, women will say stuff like, I want to go out to eat. Okay. And then the man has to say, okay, well, what day, what time am I available during that day? What restaurant? Do I have enough money? We facilitate things.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? So that we can actually arrive at this place that we're trying to ultimately go. Whereas the women do not. That's very, very important and key to understand when you're trying to understand, why we end up where it is that we are. You know what I'm saying? And men need to lean into that.
Yeah.
Because on the one hand, yeah, it's really stupid of a woman to make that decision, to accept it, and become the sixth baby mama and expect a different outcome or whatever the case may be. But it's also very foolish of men to even put themselves in the predicament where they have a fifth baby mama or a fifth baby from an unwed mother. Mm-hmm. You understand? We all, like you said, like the title of the show suggests, we all have these self-destructive behaviors that put us behind the eight ball and put us in a position where we're not going to win.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's why, certain things, when I hear them, it just bothers me so much. You got these birds and these busters out here still having this 50-50 conversation. We got to stop putting ourselves in a position to not win. 50-50 conversation is the stupidest shit I've ever heard in my life. You understand?
Yeah.
Like, you need somebody there to absorb something. Otherwise, you wouldn't be on the internet whining about how much somebody isn't doing for you.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
If that be 50%, 60%, 70%, whatever it is, don't lean into it and go in thirsty as hell, begging, but acknowledge the fact that you need someone to help you, and that you're willing to work with someone and cooperate. You want somebody to lead, you got to be willing to follow. Again, a little common sense. I think it will go a long way when I see some of these discussions. I could go on all day about this, but, we got to keep these things brief. I'll land my plane.
I definitely think that those conversations are just really time wasting. It's really stupidity, because think about it, right? I always tell people when they get in the 50-50 conversation, so you mean to tell me you rather pay $2,400 in rent than $1,200 in rent? You have $1,200 in your pocket, he has $1,200 in his pocket. Your $1,200 could go to whatever you wanted to go to. His $1,200 go because the bills are already paid. Like, I for the life of me, I don't understand that. And people don't understand. This is why a lot of people don't realize that women have female egos, because their ego won't let them accept that. Their ego would not sit back and say, hey, that's logical. They're like, listen, if you ain't paying all, I don't even want it, because I can pay for myself. Now, when you listen to a lot of these relationship and dating shows, a lot of the women are contradicting themselves, because when they get on these dating shows, you know what they say? Especially with Kendra G, she'll ask them how much does the man have to make? And you know what a lot of them say? Oh, as long as he makes enough to take care of himself.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that 50-50?
Yeah,
if he takes care of his portion and you take care of yours, that's 50-50.
It is, but now you're asking them to think before they speak, and that's asking way too much. You dig? Now you're asking them to think before they speak. I don't know where the hell you get that from. Shit, really? Come on, bro.
Oh gosh, it just don't make no sense. But Bobby, go ahead, man.
Now I think I think it might have been on one of your posts, and it wasn't on a post that I put out there, or actually, no, it might have been a post I made. But I've asked the question a few times, and I've kind of dialed back. I need to start doing it again.
Yeah.
I asked the question exactly how much, and I'm talking about a dollar amount, not some vague, broad, mysterious magic 8-ball answer that the women are good for putting out there. Give me the exact dollar amount that a man has to make, the minimum amount that a man has to make in order for you to consider talking with him.
I do that too.
And when I asked that question, it got pretty good engagement. The first time I asked, it was like a whole bunch of women responded. Whole bunch. It was great engagement. And lo and behold, every damn last, maybe if 19 women responded, I think it might have been maybe a little less than that, or could have been a little more. If 19 women responded, don't you know that only 2 of them were able to actually off bat give an actual dollar amount as I requested? Every other one, and I made a point to engage with every person on it. I didn't just like or just react to the response. I made a point to corner them. I said, "Nuh-uh, don't give me that. What is the minimum dollar amount? Don't give me some, well, it depends, or you see, or if you can, no. None of these little add-ins or these ride-alongs. No. Give me the dollar amount. I need, Jerry Maguire, show me the money. Tell me the dollar amount." And I had to put in more work than somebody on the Professional Bull Riders Association to pitch them down. But when I finally did, I gave them out. And then I asked, okay, cool. Now, the men that you've dealt with in the past, have they made this amount? And in some cases, the answer was actually, yes, they have. In more cases, it was, no, they haven't. But overall, what came out during the conversation was that a lot of women are putting on these vague answers because they're trying to hedge their bets. They'll come out and say something crazy like, oh, he has to do X, Y, Z. But at the same time, they don't want to cut off any access to the floor because, again, remember, your options are your options.
Yeah.
So you might have this pie in the sky ideal response. I'd love him to, oh, he has to make 6 figures, or I want him to make, make 250K or what have you. But the reality is the overwhelming majority, just based off the law of averages, of women do not have access to these men. They don't know where they are, and if they know where they are, they're not in those circles. They can't penetrate those areas because typically once you're in that social circle, it kind of isolates itself.
Right.
So while they may want this, the dudes who are at the floor or below the floor that they just set are the ones that you really have access to. And they're not really trying to completely hobble themselves off and say this because they understand, well, if I say this out loud, then I have to acknowledge that this is the level that I'm at, or that I can't even cut it at this level. It forces you to look at yourself hard, and a lot of them don't like that.
They hate it.
Yeah.
They hate it.
Right?
Yeah.
But the reality is you have to be willing to do the difficult work. You have to have these hard conversations, not just with others, but with yourself first and foremost.
Yeah.
Because we're talking about, again, avoiding self-destructive behaviors. The number one reason why people get locked into a cycle of self-destructive behavior, of dysfunctional behavior, is because they're not willing to be honest with themselves.
Yeah.
I pointed out, Professor Black Truth pointed out, and I really harped on this because I love the movie. And after he said it, I made a point to watch it again. And I saw the part, it was right at the beginning, and it really made an impression on me. Where if you've seen the movie The Departed, excellent Scorsese flick, typical Martin Scorsese. He's not going to deviate from the function. Where basically you have this cat and mouse game where you have your typical spy versus spy type of setup, where you have the Boston Mafia. They went ahead and they got a mole planted in the Boston Police Department. And it's this kid who came up, he was one of those kids from the neighborhood, whatever. But they made sure that they got him when he was young. They, befriended him and they looked out for him and everything. So he's loyal to them. But because they got him as a kid, they made sure to keep out of trouble. So he never had a criminal record. Clean slate. So he was able to get to the police department in the first place. And they had him set up there to get in there so he could basically be a mole and informant that gives them all the information on what he was doing. You know, if there's anything interesting we should know, let us know, help us avoid detection so we're not getting busted, whatever, that kind of thing. And on the flip side, you had the Boston Police Department who was able to get a cop flipped in and sent as a mole inside their organization. So ultimately, the movie was about, you know, finding out, well, both groups became aware that there was a mole in their respective organizations. Who finds out who first? And at the beginning, the head of the Boston Mafia, when their mole graduated from the police academy, he sat down with him on a park bench some blocks away, congratulated him. You did good, kid. Proud of you. And then he said, ultimately, remember, we practice deception. What we don't do is practice self-deception. In other words, you can lie to any and everyone around you. But when you start lying to yourself, now you're in trouble. Because now you can't tell up from down, left from right. Now you're off. When we avoid having these difficult conversations with ourselves, we're looking at ourselves in the mirror and saying, man, you know what? You effing up, big dog. Well, this right here, this ain't the business. This ain't going to work.
Yeah.
We've got to stop. What are you doing? What's wrong with you? Do you like the path that we're on, or do you have to... When you can't do that, when you have to come up with excuses, you duck and dodge accountability, it's always somebody else's fault, you guarantee that you have zero control over the only thing any of us have control over in life. And that's yourself. You can't control the external events. I can't control what you do, Ant. Major, I can't do a single thing to control anything you do. I can't make you take a sip of water right now. I can't make you go to the bathroom 30 minutes. I can't make you quit your job. I can't make you give me $5. I can't make you do anything. But I always have control over myself unless I can't be real with myself. So it's important to understand that when you have the ability to do that, then you become a superpowered being. You want to know the reason why you have some people who are able to quit drugs, quit smoking, quit alcohol, cold turkey? It's because they're able to be real and honest with themselves. They don't tell themselves lies. They don't try to come up with a sob story and, well, you know, I had a rough upbringing, whatever, which could be true.
But it is.
But they're able to look at themselves and tell themselves, hey, how we got here, that doesn't matter. That's just flavor. That's salt or that's just pepper. The actual meal, the actual entree is, we're in the shit state right now. So we're going to stay here. We're going to get up out of here. And they're able to make a decision. I'm out of here. And they commit to the decision. That's how they did it. It's not that they had some supernatural gift. They were able to be real with themselves. So when you're not able to do that, you're guaranteeing that whatever path you're on that you don't like, get comfortable. You're going to be here for quite some time. You may never leave, like the Hotel California. You might check in, you might never check out.
Yeah, definitely.
Real talk.
I think that hits a lot when, especially accountability. I've seen recently, I don't know if you guys know of on y'all Facebook page, if you had a girl that ended up in the news. She was I want to say she was a police, not a police chief, but she was a high-ranking police officer that got caught drunk driving. And she got caught drunk driving, and they fired her. But she didn't tell anybody on her page that she got fired, but a lot of people knew the story from reading the articles and everything like that. A very popular woman on Facebook. She's pretty much semi with the people on my page. She's affiliated with them in their circle. And that's how I came across her thing, when somebody sent it to me. And I'm noticing that there's a pattern going on with a lot of these professional women that's climbing the ladders. You know what I'm saying? And this one here, I'm going to show you this video, and it's very sad. And I think a lot of the women need to get themselves together, because I'm seeing a pattern here of degenerate behavior and losing their jobs behind it. All right? So check this out.
For what? I wasn't cuffed. I wasn't really needed. Shut the fuck up. You look like a nigga who was trying to get before, and I never let him. Relax. Shut the fuck up and stop touching me. Don't. Yeah, stop touching me. Get the fuck off of me. Stop touching. I got it. I can walk on my own. Don't touch me. Don't touch me. Don't touch me. I got it. I can walk on my own. Don't touch me.
You're preventing.
Take me. I could give a damn. Take me where you want to take me.
So how do you want me to take you somewhere expeditiously?
Now. Take me where you want to take me. No! No! Just let that nigga run on the female. No! He just punched me. Everything for no reason. Let him fucking go. Let him fucking go. Let him fucking go. Let him fucking go.
That's a cop.
And that's on me. Shit. No, I didn't. I don't punch niggas. No. Take me where you want to take me.
I can't take
no,
you. I don't
take
have any
me.
identification on
And
me.
I don't care. You don't need the identification. You have locked people up, and you have picked up dead bodies when you don't know who bodies it was, but you picked them up.
Man.
Take me where you need to take me.
I'm trying to.
No, take me where you need to take me immediately, expeditiously.
You're preventing
Take
that.
me. I could give a damn. Take me where you want to
So
take me.
how do you want me to take you somewhere
now?
expeditiously?
Now. Take me where you want to take me.
For what? I wasn't cuffed. I wasn't really needed. Shut the fuck up.
All right, so basically, like I say, a lot of these girls have an ego issue with them, and it's an Ebony K. Williams type thing, you know, going on these platforms promoting this type of behavior of I don't need no man, and then going around to go get impregnated through in vitro because you feel like you're too good to be with a man who's a regular man, you know, and then you have this woman here who has so much vitriol, and it seems like she has this attitude with black men because the officers were black, and then she actually is a judge, and it goes to say like, damn, what is your behavior like, and what are your thought process when you're behind that bench? Because that is not a woman who carries herself in the prestige way of being a judge. And it's not like you can just, you know, to work to get to be a judge is just an easy cakewalk. You have to have that type of moral standards and accountability in order for you not to put yourself in a predicament like that. And that to me is a self-destructing behavior, because you could not control yourself one night. Now you ruined your whole career behind it. And that's crazy to me. And I'll land my plane on that and turn it over to you guys.
Yep. That was hard to watch. I'm getting sick of seeing black women behave as their worst selves. You know what I'm saying? I'm just tired of seeing it. And this is no shade to black women, because that woman, I want to be very clear, does not represent all black women. But you see way too many sisters out here, let it be in rap videos, let it be, you know, in the club, let it be, hell, in church now. You got people cussing folks out in church. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
proudly.
This girl is, you know, assaulting an officer, talking slick mouth, cussing at the man. The man's just trying to do his job. I don't know, especially as a judge, how can you think that that's going to help you in the situation that you're in?
Yeah.
You understand?
Did you hear the slick remarks she said to him?
Yeah.
Like you look like a dude I turned down anyways. That's why.
It's that type of shit. Like, just a low energy hood rat with a gavel is what I saw. You understand? And that's very dangerous because these are the people who are determining our futures in many instances. And people like Obama. I was debating our sister London the other day about what Obama has done for the black community, and I said to her, well, he really hasn't done anything, and everything that she put up, as a supposed accomplishment, I let her know specifically why it wasn't. You understand? And she did say, okay, I gave her points for one, which was appointing black judges. But if these are the black judges, again, how is that a win? You understand? And that goes for a lot of different things. Unfortunately, I know a lot of sisters get a bad rap, but it's not without merit. There are a lot of women out here that just as a general cultural practice detest men for no apparent reason at all. You understand what I'm saying? And it's very prevalent in their actions. It's very prevalent in the way that they decide things. And when you are a judge, you are deciding fate. You are deciding someone's life, and I feel very uneasy knowing that we have buffoons like that with the gavel, buffoons like the other girl, the Shabri Rawls girl that we talked about last week doing mental health. You have these lowlifes that have vitriol towards us as black men, determining very important things about our futures. About how we think, about what the next moves that we make are or are going to be allowed to be. You know what I'm saying? And that's very, very dangerous. I'm glad she was removed from the bench. It's the same as, having people like Lena Waithe and what's this other bird? Ava, what's her name? The one with the dread?
Agent DuVernay.
Agent DuVernay, it's the same as having them writing black television shows.
Yeah.
I might as well have a white supremacist write the black television shows if it's going to be them, the type of shit they put out. So
the middleman, yeah.
Real talk. If we're going to do it, let's do it. Sisters who are on the bench that are holding it down and doing what you're supposed to do and looking out, respect to you, and carrying yourself in the proper manner. When you come into a situation, first of all, you're a judge. What are you even doing in that situation? What are you doing dressed that way? I mean, I could go on for days, but my God, it was just a train wreck. And, I'm really, really tired of seeing that. I want to see sisters lean into being feminine and being ladylike again, because that ain't it. And clearly, the end results aren't very good. Too much reality TV and I'm a hoe rappers. And this is what the outcome is. Stupid in, stupid out. So, yeah, we got to kill all that shit.
Definitely. Drake, what you got?
I remember quite some time ago that our brother Jason Black, shout out to the Black Authority,
CBA.
He dropped a video on YouTube that was discussing what he dubbed the Sophista Ratchet. And for those who are unfamiliar with Jason Black and his work, Jason primarily over the might be almost 2 decades now, but over the decades of his career on social media or on YouTube, he's primarily served as a media organ exposing and breaking down and analyzing and going against white supremacy. And only recently in the last few years has he delved into power dynamics and applications to relationships and other type things. But mainly his main fodder is white supremacy. On this occasion, however, after he had been doing this for quite some years, he went in and dropped a video on the Sophista Ratchet which pretty much would describe this woman to a T. We're talking about your high achieving, most cases high earning, white collar professional woman. She makes great money, more than likely drives a luxury car. Typically, her work uniform is going to be suits, business suits, whether the pantsuits or dress suits, what have you. She's well respected in her field, in her community. She has a name about herself. Higher educated, typically above the undergrad level, so it's typically graduate level and above. Numerous professional certifications. Most cases, not a mother, but might be. Usually unmarried. However, everything about this woman says that she's upper crust, but her tastes and her preferences are like that of a high school dropout. So if you were to listen to her car on the way to work, probably hear a whole bunch of your Megan Thee Stallions, your Cardi B's, your Nicki Minaj's, your Unsexy Red, your City Girls. Insert the ratchet rapper. There you go.
Yep.
You'll likely find her on girls' trips or in the club, showing her ass as if none of the things that she has acquired in life mean anything.
Real talk.
And when Jason dropped this video, and again, bear in mind what Jason typically posts and talks about: white supremacy. His channels have been shadow banned by YouTube. He's had videos flagged and taken down. Regular part of the schema. And up to this point, I've been following Jason for a little bit, so I've known what videos were hot button topics, which ones would generate certain negative responses, and I've known a number of his videos to be taken down to the point where me and some others would have gathered around to save the videos because we know this is a barn burner. This ain't gonna be up long. We know it's coming down eventually. Up to this point, I had never seen a video taken down by YouTube as fast as this one was. Never. That video literally was a blink and you'll miss it. I've seen him go in on the right wing. He's taken Breitbart to task. He's gotten all manner of your white supremacist organs and mouthpieces and think tanks, tackling all kinds of political issues and how the whole gamut. And a lot of them have been taken down or flagged or marked inappropriate. This video, however, that was talking about nothing of that kind, got pulled instantly. The only reason that could have been is because of wide swath of people clicking the report button on it. So white supremacy is an issue, yeah. That we don't like them talking about that. We don't like them exposing and putting things out there. But we hate exposing these sophisticated, this judge's type out there. The ones that have vitriol, in a lot of cases, they're just complete mockeries of what a black woman should be. Talking about that, that's a problem. I'll leave it right there. I'm not going to say any more about that. I think that speaks for itself.
I agree. It's the elephant in the room. You got to tip and walk on eggshells. Go ahead.
Hold on. I just want to make sure I add this nugget in. You know that lady who is supposed to be so woke and whatever the case may be, and she's an attorney and she's on TV, Angela Rye. She's supposed to be so woke and she's so smart and she's so this and she's so pro-black.
Yeah.
I used to really watch Angela Rye and I used to really rock with her because I'm like, okay, this was before I started hearing her say ridiculous things like Farrakhan is stupid. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever. Before she said that bullshit.
Yeah.
She came out with a podcast and she named her podcast Sophista Ratchet. I'm like, bruh, it hurt me to my heart. I didn't think that Angela Rye was a bird until I saw that. You know what I'm saying? That really hurt me to my heart. But that's the mindset of a lot of these sisters, unfortunately, that are established. They still want to be the little ratchet hood rat They want that side of their behavior to come out every now and again for whatever reason.
Correct.
Ridiculous. But yeah, go ahead.
It's just like these dudes, and the funny thing is because I talk about one but not the other.
Right.
So again, being that way is the problem. But they'll poo-poo on the dudes that grew up in the suburbs. The parents were always middle class or above. They never had any financial issues. They never been in the projects.
Yeah.
You know, they never seen dudes doing hand of hands in the street. Nothing like that. They don't know about gunshots ringing out in the neighborhood or none of that stuff.
Right.
But they'll turn around and try to be the biggest super thugs, ultra blood, or the mega crip or whatever. They'll criticize and poo-poo on that. But not the chick who's born and raised in Prince George's County, or in Baldwin Hills or whatever, doesn't know anything about that. But for whatever reason, she just has to go ahead and be the biggest hood rat walking.
We have a serious problem. It's a serious problem with these dysfunctional pathologies that we gravitate to as a people. Real talk.
Definitely. So tonight we're going to definitely get into our first topic, which is the trendy weekly topics, and I think this one has been trending. And speaking of Black women, I think a lot of the Black women, because we already know the Black men in this realms ain't doing what they need to do anyways, but the Black women in the political realm got to do a little bit better, man. We need some solid Black women in the political realm that are out here pushing the nuggets and pushing things forward. That's why I love the state rep that I work with. We got a lot done together, and she's not on that bull crap. She's actually a black sheep, an outcast that really went into the Florida state capitol and got a lot of great things passed. But as we saw the other day, they had a campaign debate between Trump and Biden. And this was the outcome. This was the outcome of the debate. I thought this was very funny. But this was the outcome of the debate. In case you didn't miss the debate.
No! I wasn't ready.
Yo.
I wasn't ready.
Yo.
If you guys didn't see the debate kind of remind you of this movie.
Bruh.
Weekend at Bindings. All right.
Wild.
So, as you guys already know, Biden has, been talked about with the immigration that's been flooded in. Biden is allowing it, and a lot of people aren't with it. You had this illegal alien who gunned down two New York PD officers, saying killing cops is his culture. He works for the Venezuelan TDA gang. Bernardo Raul Castrillo Mata, 19, revealed that his firearms are smuggled into NYC shelters through food deliveries. And I exposed a lot of that back in the day when they first got here. I exposed a lot of that. And people didn't realize it at that time. And now people have been hitting me up since this came out and was like, yo, Ant, you've been talking about this. You've been showing that what they don't understand is the immigration that's here now is not the immigration that our parents grew up off of. A lot of the people coming now have a lot of hidden agendas, a lot of bad agendas. They're really here to tear down America for what it is. Now, that's not to say that there aren't people coming that really want to be a great citizen in here or striving to get a better life. It's just that they're bungled in with everybody else. It's no different than the cops, right? We have good cops out there, but we have a lot of bad apples that overshine the good cops. So that makes the majority look bad. So you have Biden coming in, doing what he had to do. Chicago's response to the migrant influx, long-lasting frustration among Black residents. So what they were doing was bringing these immigrants here, and they were busing them into the Black residents, and the Black people was like, nah, don't bust them here. Bring them somewhere else. And shout out to the Black people for fighting back on that. Biden's open borders hurts Black Americans most of all. We already knew that. New York rule change makes thousands of migrants eligible for cash payments. So when you talk about when black, we have a lot of black women out here. And that's why I said we got to have better black women out here, because we already know the buffoonery with black men. We wish we had a lot of black men in the politic world that was doing some great things, but some of them are on that buffoon talk, and the rest of them are on that LGBTQIA talk, the intersectionality, which both sides don't get us nothing. So, the black women normally fights and get stuff done, and we just need more of the black women to get that done until we could get some sensible black men in office to get stuff done without added agendas attached to them. So yeah, with the cash payments, that boosts up these immigrants a lot further. So when you talk about the FBAs are out here talking about reparations, understand that they have a viable case of talking what they talk, because think about it, when you hear people talk about lift yourselves up by the bootstraps, but then you come to the immigrants, they don't never let them lift themselves up by the bootstraps. Even when it comes to the Arabs and the Asians and the Indians, they come over here and they get federal grants to start businesses off rip. They don't have to go through the muck and work their way up to get a business like a foundation of Black Americans do, but when they are able to establish their business, then they turn around and say, oh, well, the immigrants come here and do all of this. Why y'all can't do it? We can't do it because we don't have the resources like that, and we're not getting blocked and banned from doing it, So there's a lot of bait and switch. There's a lot of smoke screen. There's a lot of things that people got to take into consideration that they normally don't do. So I just wanted to show that part of it. You guys there's articles out there. You could definitely read about the articles that they give all these immigrants, everything that they need to get. Migrants get up to 2 years free rent. Can you imagine? So you think about it, as a regular person, a Black American, foundational Black American, who is out here paying $2,000 worth of rent. By the time you look at it, that's $24,000 for 1 year, and that's $48,000 for 2 years. $48,000 if you could put that inside your pockets, and that's just your housing. When you get your paycheck, you don't have to buy for groceries because your groceries are being paid. As immigrants, they have their groceries paid. They have their health benefits. They don't pay out of pocket for none of that. So now, for 2 years, you are basically getting your wages and riding out to that without having to spend anything. So if you're making, let's say you're an immigrant that come here and you're making $50,000, you're going to be at least us $100,000 that you can bank in your pocket, depending on how much you want to splurge and spend out. But if you say like $100,000 for 2 years, let's say you just save 70 or even half of that, 50, that's a lot of capital to start to get you ahead of, to put you in the right direction. So when you sit back and start seeing that these elevated steps that they're giving these immigrants, and then people that are born here, the foundational Blacks, they give them a hard time. They're out here sleeping in their car because they can't pay rent. They say that they make too much to get assistance, but then it's not enough to make a substantial living. So they're stuck in the gray area. But then people come here and they get all what they need to get. So, we have to understand that we have a destructive mindset when we sit back and allow these things to continue, because we get brainwashed to vote a certain way or to accept things without pushing back and demanding what we need to do. That type of stuff has been crippling us for years. It's been a generational curse for years. And we're starting to see that now people are waking up and trying to break that and starting to go out here to fight for tangible assets. So I want to get into the video of the young man that I had just showed you guys the meme on.
According to audio recordings read by prosecutors, Mata claims he was recruited to join the gang to commit robberies. But the most shocking claim, the gang has been smuggling guns into city-run shelters.
Tren de Aragua members were smuggling firearms into city shelters inside food delivery packages That way they don't have to go through the metal detector.
The NYPD is on to this gang.
We've never seen anything really like it. They're so dangerous.
Police say within the past year, there's been an increase of over 300% in robberies and grand larcenies. NYPD Chief of Detectives Joseph Kenny, who was on the 6 o'clock news earlier this week, says it started back in 2022, 2023, when the influx of migrants started arriving. He says these gang members have no respect for law enforcement.
In fact, that they were learning through intelligence debriefings that they're actually instructed to shoot police officers if confronted.
According to the NYPD, that's what happened.
All right, so I just wanted to show that because when I showed you guys the debate and I had brought up with the elephant and the donkey meme earlier, I wanted to show you guys this, and I thought this was very hilarious and one of the key moments of the debate. And like I say here, we're not taking any sides. We're not taking the Democrat side. We're not taking the Republican side. To be honest, our group economics, building ourselves, finding our own politicians to push from the grassroots level, which is the local level, to get them to the congressional level. That's what we need to focus on right now, because both parties are not aligning themselves up with doing anything for Black people on a tangible level. And until they start putting things in a tangible legislation of bills and things like that, nobody's really going to get the votes. That's the mindset that majority of the Black people are on right now, and that's the mindset we need to be on. So until you are providing something tangible for us to vote for, we're just not going to vote for you. But I found this to be a very hilarious clip because it kind of summed up the night, and it also kind of summed up the candidates in itself. All right, so check this out.
On the total initiative relative to what we can do with more border patrol and more asylum officers.
President Trump?
I really don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he knows what he said either.
All right, so I just wanted to stop that. Oh, you're muted. You're muted, Major. You muted yourself, Major.
Man, I know you have some funny. Man,
oh, that shit was so gangster. Ooh-wee. That was my favorite moment of the whole debate. Oh, baby Jesus. I was like, shit. Like, real talk, man. Like, if you're a Democrat, let's just keep it a buck, man.
He cooked that, man.
He cooked his ass. Well done. Well, how you like your steak? Well done, Donald. Hold my beer. That's what Donald said, bro. Like, yo, he cooked his bitch ass. Dude, where was Joe? Did Joe Biden know where he was last night?
I thought that was very funny, though. Shout out to Cottonmouth for pulling that clip, because that was hilarious.
That was hilarious, bro. Hey, that pup with the Florida Marlins, the throwback Florida Marlins head looked like you a little bit of I'm like, dang, my boy Ant really blowing up out here, man. Mama, he made it.
Oh man, hey, those guys are super dope, man. I like Cottonmouth, man. Shout out to
man. I was waiting at any given moment for them to call the debate and somebody to just give Joe Biden his applesauce so he could have a nap. Cause bruh, that shit is terrifying. This is what's running the country right now, dude.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
And that's what I said. That's the destructive behavior that we have as a race of people to allow this. It's been going on for too long now, and we can't keep doing the same thing over and over, getting the same bullshit. It's not even tangible. It's just straight symbolic results. We're getting symbolic results. We're not getting tangible results. And this is what happens when we don't apply the pressure to go out here and get good candidates, to support good candidates, and we just allow people to throw anybody up there and they tell us to vote for them. This is the two type of characters that we have to deal with. And it's just a shit show. And it's really nothing that gets done for Black people in the long run. And we have to start to say, you know what? It's if we're not going to be a part of that, then we don't need to be a part of that. And we need to find another way to get stuff done outside of that, because we're not going to be part of the circus anymore. And that's it. And that's a destructive behavior that we have. And all that talk about, whenever you hear people talk about vote blue all the way down, it's bullshit. And people like that don't even understand the history at all. Because if you understand the history, Black people started the Republican Party. Black people have conservative views. So when you sit out here and you see Black people that say they're Republican, they're Black Republicans, it's not that they're supporting the Republican Party. They're supporting the views that they were raised on. As Black folks, we were raised on. Let's just be real with it. So give these people some grace, but instead, let's have this conversation at the table with people that's out here looking for tangible solutions and not the symbolic ones. And that's what we need to start doing. Get rid of that mindset, that destructive mindset, that destructive behavior, and let's start building on some real great, tangible process through it. You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to highlight and point that out. All right.
You said it all, brother. Like, I mean, that debate, I mean, it's a choice of death by gun or knife at this point, you know, as far as who runs the country. And I hate to say this, but if I had to vote right now, I'd vote for Trump, because
that's what majority of people are going to do, you know.
At least Trump knows where he is. This guy doesn't know what day of the week it is, man. Shit. I know, man. Woo! And the scarier thing is these Democrats that are, you know, engaging again in this self-destructive behavior, which is the title of the show. They won't even acknowledge it. Lawrence O'Donnell is one of the only Democrats that I will listen to. Lawrence O'Donnell is a boss. Lawrence O'Donnell knows shit, right?
Yeah.
And he was sitting up spinning this, talking about how, oh, you know, it doesn't matter because nobody really watched the debate. Bitch, really? Only a third of the electorate watched the debate. That's all it takes to win an election, Lawrence. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like little silly shit like that, dude. It was a train wreck, and the Democrats have got to do something about this. I say they pull his ass all together and put Gavin Newsom up there. Somebody that's coherent and understands what the issues are and can construct a cogent sentence about the subject matter. Goddamn.
Yeah.
Really? Oh, that's scary.
It's desperation at this time. Yeah, it's desperation.
Nasty
but
work.
Definitely.
Nasty work.
I thought that was very funny. So we also have, I do want to get into, there was this big debate lately, and I thought it was a very silly debate, but I did want to have this conversation about it because I think it's very important. It's also highlighting a very key pivotal point movement with Black men that I think we need to jump on this train and ride it and not try to generate it. As far as I think a lot of people have taken this, what happened, and clowning it instead of realizing how powerful of a move it was. So the move that I'm talking about is LeBron James making history, right? So LeBron James, with
big up Flocka.
Yeah.
Right?
Big up to Bron.
So LeBron James, right, with no father, no college education, no training, a very few role models, except his single mother, Gloria. They handed this young, dirt poor Black kid $420,000 per week at the age of 18 to play basketball and became the face of the $75 billion NBA. He married his high school sweetheart, Savannah, and was never arrested, never used drugs, never humiliated his wife with publicity, with side chicks or stories. No outside babies, never divorced. Never in the news with so much as parking ticket, excellent father, heavily involved with his 3 children's activities, second greatest basketball player of all time. 20 years later, same dude, same maturity, same chick, same family, reputation intact, a billionaire earning over $2 million per week, has set 2,300 at-risk kids from his hometown at college fully paid for. His exceptional career should be made a course study in college, right? He had his son got drafted, and not only did his son get drafted, his son got drafted to the LA Lakers. His son the other son, so that was Bronny. That's what you see on the left is Bronny James, 55, just got drafted and made history. He will be playing side by side with his father. The first time in NBA history, a father-son playing on the same team together.
Or even in the league at the same time.
Exactly. So
Crazy.
shout out for that to happen. We know D Wade couldn't do it because his son, well, he has other sons, but he retired. Magic Johnson couldn't do it. His son, took a different direction. But so LeBron, what do you call it? Jordan's son took a different direction as well. So, for LeBron to do what he did and made history. And what was so critical about this, what made this all put together and made it happen, nobody even knows. Rich Paul was part of this. Rich Paul was the agent that lined this up. And guess what?
Big shout out to Clutch Sports. Big shout out.
Yes, guess who put Rich Paul on?
Who?
LeBron. That was his that's his hometown friend.
Okay. That's one of his day ones right there.
Yeah, that's his day one. When Rich Paul didn't have no education, no nothing, but he knew he had drive, and that's something he wanted to do. He put him in a position to do it. And this man is winning right now. This man is one of the top agents in the NBA. And this man orchestrated this to get his best friend to line up with his son because his best friend put him on in a position to do that. And everybody's talking about nepotism, and they're making it seem bad. Especially I see this from a lot of Black people making nepotism seem bad. Nepotism is one of the most powerful moves you can make. Nepotism, a lot of these white folks, a lot of these Asians, a lot of these Arabs, a lot of these Indians, a lot of these Mexicans, I would say Hispanics, a lot of these people practice this every day. This is why financially a lot of them exceed higher than what we are in today, because guess what? When you guys go to a nail shop, don't you see that they have their 11-year-old son in there running almost the whole store? That 11-year-old son didn't go to school to be no shop manager. You know what I'm saying? Every time you go to the Arab store, you see the same thing with their children. With white folks, you see the same thing. They intern their children and get them in the door. These kids ain't even qualified. You know what I'm saying? But they get them in the door ahead of everybody and get them a great salary, and they start off winning and don't even take no L's. You know what I'm saying? And then they wonder why everybody excels so fast. We don't understand that concept. So when we see something like this, we're looking at it as something bad and something negative. Let me tell you something. All the people out there, the ones that saying this is bad, you're the same ones when your homeboy is at a job and you don't have a job, or you're not comfortable, or you don't like the job you're at. The first thing you do, call your homeboy. Hey man, y'all hiring over there? Put me down. Put me down as a reference. Let me get down in that job. You know what I'm saying? I have put people down in jobs I had and got them in there. I practiced the nepotism. And there's other people that got jobs and got me on through that, and I excel through that. You know what I'm saying? It's one of the most powerful moves you have. And that goes to the quote out there. It's not what you know, it's who you know. That's always been that. It's who you know, not what you know. So, shout out to LeBron James for doing such a phenomenal job with his children. Also, you got to understand, you also have the Ball brothers. Remember, LeVar Ball did this with his children. He had all three of his boys in the NBA. You know what I'm saying? So let's not say no. When he was doing it, there was a lot of people on his back about it. Oh, he's this dictator. He just aggressive and he's forcing his son. Man, that man got all three of his sons in the NBA. Didn't he also make history with that as well?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Also, guess who else is on that strive and that move?
Who them is?
Don't forget the Sanders.
Oh yeah,
Don't believe me, just watch.
Don't forget the Sanders.
Yeah, must be the
Don't
money.
Don't believe, just watch.
Come on. You gotta understand, man. Nepotism is the way to go. Black men understand how powerful that is to put your children in a position to win. In a position to win. And all of these, the NBA and the NFL is elite to get in.
Yeah.
And even if you don't think that you think there's people, because there was people that's talking about there's people better than Bronny. Yes, you're probably right. There are people that was better than Bronny that didn't even get drafted. But that's not his fault. As a father, I got to make sure my legacy and my seed is going to be out here to strive and succeed. I don't care about nobody else. This is my blood. Yeah. I'm going to do what I need to do to make sure that they succeed, because guess what? I'm at the age where I can be gone at any moment. But as long as I know before I left that I put my child in a position to succeed and make money for his family coming up, I have done my job as a father.
Listen,
and
man.
all of them have done their job as a father. And congratulations to all those phenomenal fathers. And I'll land my plane on that.
Real ass talk. Shout out to LeBron. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even a LeBron fan, but for that move, shout out to LeBron. Definitely. You dig? Shout out to LeBron, first of all, for raising his son to be an alpha male. Just saying. Okay? Yeah. So that's the first shout out to LeBron. And then for putting his son in a position to succeed just off rip. You understand what I'm saying? Shout out to Dion. Shout out to all the brothers who are in that mental space, whereas they're thinking of that. You understand? Because too many of our fathers out here, unfortunately, are not raising their kids. We were talking earlier about a woman who, she did the skit for the woman who has 5 baby daddies or 5 babies, from different baby daddies. And, she's going to give this other guy a 6th baby without a ring or anything or whatever the case may be. But women tend to forget when they do these type of things, and men as well. You got all these kids all over the goddamn place. You're not likely to be a very good father because your kids are all over the place. Okay? You have to think of fatherhood from a logical perspective. Correct. If you got 5 different places where all your kids are, when are you, who live in your own house, when are you going to, be able to really sit down with them and give them the one-on-one attention that they need?
Yeah.
You dig? This is a brilliant move. You solidify your legacy off rip.
Yeah.
And let the chips fall where they may. Bronny needs some work. Let's keep it a buck. Yeah. But you know what? What better way to develop him than to get him on the same team with me? I'm thinking in my LeBron James space now. You know what I'm saying? Get him on the same team with me. I'll help develop him. I'll help mentor him. It'll be hands-on. That's brilliant. That's brilliant, bruh. And you got other professionals here with you. You know what I'm saying? Hey, maybe Rocky in the beginning, whatever the case may be, they've had people who were superstars come over there, and it was Rocky.
Yeah.
Russell Westbrook, you dig? Didn't work out very well, now did it? Okay, you can take that chance on your own seed. That's how we need to be moving out here as black men, period. We need to set people, not only made a very good point there. Speaking about the other gentleman, Rich Paul, who was the one who put it together. I have my criticisms of LeBron like some other people. You understand what I'm saying? But one thing LeBron has done when it comes down to business, LeBron has been on code like a motherfucker. He has been on code. He hires his friends, he hires his homies, he hires his family. He gives people around him a job that does two things. It empowers you, so you got your own shit, you got your own name, whatever. You ain't got to be asking me for shit. And then when I need something, I can call it a favor and get it through you.
Yeah.
The man is doing the man is doing the code's work. That's all I'm gonna say. And land my plane right there.
Definitely. Drake.
Bobby Drake. Stop.
Lord have mercy.
Oh.
I've got too much to say about this alone, so I'm going to do everything in my power to keep it brief and succinct, and to the sweet spot.
Okay.
Because if you know me, this whole thing lights a fire under me. It's got all my nerve cells, my dendrites, and everything tingling. But
I got you. Yeah.
First off, I want to start with where you left off before. Big ups to LeBron having. Actually, you know what? I think it goes even before that. Because yes, LeBron definitely did a solid job. Got to tip my hat to his mother Gloria. She did a great job raising that young man. Also, the various coaches and father figures that were in LeBron's life who did step in and played a mentoring role in guiding and steering him towards manhood, even though his father was present to do that for him. It could have easily turned out differently. Just one or two things went off, but thankfully it didn't. We got to witness this happen. That's not to be understated or overlooked. But I want to give LeBron credit for not just being a brother of character, and ties back because all roads lead back to conversations here. Going back to handling any self-destructive behaviors they did, but again, not just spending time with people who you have a common past with, but you have a common future with.
Yeah.
Because if you look at, and again, you have to look at LeBron, because just by virtue of being LeBron's friend, anything, or being associated with LeBron, any and everything related to you is going to automatically fall back to LeBron, even if it don't make sense. If Rich Paul were to go ahead and trip over shoelaces on Hollywood Boulevard, they'll say, Rich Paul, close personal friend of LeBron James, tripped and ate it on the curb. Don't make no sense. It's not even a news story. But because he's affiliated with LeBron, by default, whatever he does becomes newsworthy, whatever. So it's important to point out that LeBron not only was a person who has great character, is solid in his integrity, he's future-minded, but he also made a point to seek out from childhood those who were like him. He didn't have any homeboys, or at least his inner circle. It's not composed of any hardheads that got to keep on getting bailed out of prison because he always getting in DUI. Or he always knocking up a different chick and he's got 8, 9, 12 different baby mamas. Or a dude that's always around, he's always getting in trouble, he's always a liability to the squad. Or he has poor character. Because if you listen, it was about a clique of 5 of them all together. LeBron and I think it's his 4 or 5 close friends that he came up with and went with him. And not one of those brothers has served as a liability to LeBron. Bless you. Now, Rich went ahead and he got into the sports management. That's been his niche that he's carved out for himself. He's doing phenomenally well. And the others, they're not necessarily in any enterprises that are sports related. But LeBron went ahead and he saw, not just because you're my friend, that's a key thing right there. Not just because you're my friend, but because you're stable. Because you have character. That's how you made it this far with me in the first place. Because I know you have character. And I know that you have character because I was with you when we didn't have anything to even a pot to piss in or a window to toss it out of. So I've seen you. I know you. I know all the talk that we've had. So I know you intimately better than anyone outside could. I know you're solid. I know you got a good mind. I know that you're not looking to go ahead and engage in any self-destructive behaviors. So I feel confident, not just comfortable, but confident in investing you and giving you an opportunity. And I know when I pass you the ball, you're not going to drop it.
Right.
And sure enough, they've been true to that. But that can only be the case because those are the people he started out with. And he saw those traits in them, because you don't get solid people in your corner by accident. That doesn't just happen. You got to be intentional about that. On top of that, they also haven't let him down. They've been solid, and they haven't done anything to compromise him or his brand. And as a result, their brand has been intact. I've been catching up because I'm about a month or so behind with That Is What It Is show. Shout out Cam Mason, Stat Baby.
Oh yeah.
And I just finished the episode the other day where they actually had Rich Paul. Rich wasn't planned, but Rich was walking through the area where the studio is, because they have their studio out in Vegas, and it's part of an area where there's I don't want to say a co-working space, but it's an area where there's other businesses around it. So you walk by and you can actually see out there. Sometimes they'll show fans or people stopping by or waving at them, whatever. So Rich was actually walking on his way to dinner with some folks, and he saw that Cam and Mace were there, so he popped in on him. And so they had an impromptu interview where he sat in, and they were interviewing him, talking to him, and I'm listening to him speak. And his mind for business is excellent. His insights are fantastic. But he also talked about, LeBron hooking him up and helping him out and get to where he is. And he said, he's at a space that, LeBron gave him an opportunity, but it wasn't a case where you just feed them like that. He said, LeBron basically just gave him an opportunity, and he took it and ran with it.
Yeah.
And he said he's in a place where he doesn't feel like LeBron owes him anything, or he owes LeBron anything. He's like, he's at a point now where it's like, if LeBron were to lose his career today, or God forbid drop down dead tomorrow, he's set. He's good. LeBron gave him the opportunity, but what he did with it is what he did with it. And he was able to do the work, and he did it in a way where it's not tight, where it's not like he's constantly needing LeBron to hand him or anything. Nah, he did the due diligence. He did things properly, and he made it so that he's able to go ahead and use it as a launch pad, and not as a tether around not as a charge where he has to come back and get a re-up on that.
Real talk.
So it's important that you do that, and you see that LeBron looks as though he's doing the same thing for his children as well. I'm listening to Bronny speak, and he's talking about, he has his opportunity, but he wants to be his own man. He's not looking to live in his father's shadow. He understands that what's coming with the name and everything, but he's intent on being his own man. He's not trying to be LeBron Jr. And I think I heard rumors that he's even looking to get his name legally changed to Bronny. But everything is showcased that he's very intentional about building his own brand name. So yeah, he's LeBron James' son, and he may never eclipse that, but he's looking to carve out something for himself outside of that. And I like the picture you posted showed Bryce is coming up next.
Yeah.
Bryce balling too. So it could possibly be that Bryce also gets picked up and he's playing under the Lakers umbrella, or definitely going to be in the NBA as well. But you see that the same intentionality is being installed in his children, where his children are doing their thing, but they're looking to use the brand as a launch pad. They're not trying to be beholden to it. They're not trying to be comfortable as I'm just LeBron's son and that's it. I can get by with that. They're trying to be their own men and do their own thing outside of that. They're looking to the future. They're trying to hustle for the last name, not the first name, where, I want to soak up the son as LeBron's son. You got to respect me. I'm LeBron's son. Nah, I'm Bronny James. Pleased to meet you.
Yeah.
So this is a valuable lesson on manhood and manhood training that I think every single man needs to internalize for himself first and foremost, and then pass on to his children, but then also look in the people around you. Are the people around you looking to make a name for themselves? Do they have integrity? Do they have character? Are you raising your children to be men and women of character and integrity? Are you putting work ethic in them so that even because we see this all the time, when you have someone who's made it for themselves and they go ahead and leave everything to their children, the family falls apart.
Yeah.
They blow the resources or whatever, or they go ahead and squander it. And I would argue the biggest reason is because even though they were there, they weren't actually there. They were given these things, but they weren't raised with it. They weren't instructed on how to go ahead and make use of these resources. They weren't taught, the importance of this. The reason why you see these, you mentioned these different businesses, these Asian businesses, whatever, they have their children in the business, whatever. The reason why they're able to stay successful for so long is because the children are raised in the business. They're not just at age 25 said, here's the business, go ahead and make something out of it. No. they're raised in it. So they as children, they're doing their homework and they're playing in the business. When they're old enough, they're doing tasks, they're sweeping, they're doing chores. When they're older, they're actually working for the business. So the business has literally become a part of them and their family. It means something to them. It's not something that's in the background like a vase or a picture on the wall. It's part of them. It's part of the family.
Yeah.
So you can't just hand the keys to them and expect them to take off. You got to train them. This is why it matters. This is why it's significant to us.
Yeah.
All right. So I love what LeBron is doing. I love what LeVar Ball is doing. I love what Coach Prime Deion Sanders is doing. But I want us to also understand how this got there. Because we have stories about this happening and it doesn't turn out this way. So the question is, why is it happening this way? And I'm offering you it's because these children were raised to understand the significance of what's being done. It's not happening in the foreground, they're in the background. They're part of it from early. So even if they want to do something else, it's hard because it's in the blood. It's what they know. And they know it better than anything else. And so it's a no-brainer to go into this. I know that this is the money route. I know that I'm going to get the bag from this. I have I have everything in my fingertips right now. It's going to be very difficult for me to fumble. So I'm sorry I got a little long-winded, but I just really wanted to hammer that down. I really want us to get this because this is so critical to our success individually and collectively going forward. I want us to not see these things and miss the details. I don't want us to see the end result and wonder, well, how do we get there? This is how it starts.
Exactly.
You can't have a 17-year-old that you didn't raise in your business, in your field, and then expect once he's 30, you pass the keys over to him that he's going to go ahead and take off with it. It's not that simple.
Yeah.
They have to be brought up in this. It has to become part of their DNA from day one.
Definitely.
I parked my Range Rover on that one.
There it is. There it is.
All right. So I definitely want to get in real quick with not going to spend too much time, but destructive behavior that we have. We have these two fellas that have been mentioned over the past week. This guy here ended up killing his mom, his baby mom, and his cousin, and was on his way to go kill another child's mother of his. I have made a post that said, we need to get rid of this F-boy energy that's out here where a lot of these guys are committing domestic suicides, where they're killing women in the process of it. We got to get out of that, man. A lot of these young men out here are, they don't have no worth to them. They're going around, they have no value. And when you don't have no value, you don't see no worth in yourself. You don't have no self-esteem. And that's easy for depression to seep in when you don't have nothing that you feel confident to stand on. And this guy just ended up losing it for some reason. And he ended up killing, 3 women, and one of them being his mother, and that's not fair to his other siblings because he done took out his mother, that his other siblings enjoyed having her around, Also, they had this guy called Fulio. It was a local rapper here in Jacksonville, Florida. He actually, what happened with him? He actually was going around with basically bragging on other people's children being killed, which was he considered his ops being killed. Over 30 of them he bragged about their deaths, going to release videos by him standing by their grave and creating more of a animosity and resentment from these people's family members. And finally, he had got shot a couple of times before, but he made it through. And, this past week and a half where he got shot, that was the fatal shot that killed him. And he's no longer here. A lot of people got to understand that there is an energy that you just don't play around with. You can put good energy in the air and good energy come back. You put bad energy in the air, and trust me, the bad energy is going to come back. What I also noticed too is Fulio. He was on Vlad TV one for an interview, and I noticed he had this ring right here. If you see it, right? And I noticed that a lot of the artists that have been dying have been rocking that ring. You get what I'm saying? And I know it's been a conspiracy for a long time, but I'm like, it makes you wonder a lot. It raises your eyebrows. And if anybody knows, this is Young Dolph, who, tragically had his life ended.
Long live Dolph.
Yeah, long live Dolph, But we got to get rid of this energy out here where people are just executing each other and other people, for just silliness. We all have a purpose here on life. We all have families to raise. We all have money to put and bring food and put on the table and money to be earned out here for our families and ourselves. We got too many serious situations for us out here to be tackling versus sitting here trying to off each other off like this. I think it's very silly. It's very dangerous. It's a destructive behavior, not only for yourself, not only for your community, but, for society in general, and we need to get rid of that. We need to start telling fellas when we see them, we're holding them accountable. And also women, we see them and hold them accountable so that we can have a better, healthy, fluid type of community, that is taking away a lot of the poisonous and damaging mindset that keeps plaguing from generation to generation. It's time for a generational curse to stop, and that's one of them that needs to stop. But I definitely land my plane on that, and you guys take it over.
I mean, you pretty much said it all for that, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, that was it right there for me. Like you said it all, brother. That's just collectively, we need to be more on code, and we need to start seeing the God in each other. It's because we don't see and regard the God. We don't see each other as God. We don't. You know what I'm saying? And that's just what that amounts to. But yeah, you said that pretty much.
Yeah, definitely. Drake.
It starts with self, right? I mean, what doesn't? When you don't have proper value for yourself, when you don't feel like you are of any consequence, that you don't matter, when you don't really like yourself, that makes it very easy for you to also see others the same way that you see yourself. Because the reality is, the highest love that exists, at least where people are concerned, is self-love. It is not possible. Not that it's difficult or it's hard. It is not possible to love somebody more than you can love yourself. If you love yourself this much, that's the cap. The best you can do is love somebody else at the same level as you love yourself, and you're right here.
Yeah.
Or you can love them this much, or this much, or this much, or this much, or even not at all. But somebody else is never going to come above this. It's not possible. So if the way you feel about yourself out of 100 is down to a 20, nobody can expect to get more than a 20 in terms of love out of you. And you can't expect to love anyone this much. You might want to love them so much more, but that's going to be the glass ceiling. That's the reason you see so much self-destruction or self-destruction in relationships. If you've ever been in a relationship with a person who was all about self-destructing, they had all these self-destructive behaviors where they would go ahead and they'd find a reason to start a fight, or they would pick things apart. They couldn't just be in peace. They're always waiting for the other shoe to drop. They would go and maybe flirt with others or cheat or have affairs or do all other kind of things to get the relationship to end or to piss you off or to get you to leave. That's because they want to love you more than they love themselves, and they can't do it. They don't have enough. It's causing a conflict. So they see how much you love them. They see that they love themselves here and you love yourself up here, and that person is loving them at this level, and they can't come to meet that. So it causes confusion because understanding, I don't understand this. I'm not that good. I'm not that wonderful. There's nothing all that's great about me. I don't see what they see. It's got to be a setup. It's got to be. Where are the hidden cameras? Is Ashton Kutcher going to come out? They redoing Punked or something? What's going on? Because this can't be from me. This has to be a setup. And so that's when people engage in these behaviors where they do things to go ahead and to either destroy the relationship outright or to get the person to hold them in low regard so that the love that they have matches the love that they feel for themselves. You're loving me too much. I need you to love me here. It's overwhelming. I can't deal with it. You're up here. I need you to love me down here. Don't be so good to me. And that's why people who tend to be victims of abuse, who have not resolved those issues, those traumas, they tend to be drawn to abusers. They can't hang with the person up here, but the person that beats them around and slaps them up, puts out cigarettes or blunts on their shoulders, or spits on them or tells them they're worthless, they can deal with that. Because for them, that feels about right.
Yeah.
You think I'm ugly? I do too. You're right. I can deal with that. I know how to manage that because there's nothing that you're saying to me that I don't tell myself all the time. I can handle that. This overwhelming amount of love you show me, I don't know what to do with that. I can't contain that. It's too much for me. I got to get away. So that also boils over into regular social relationships as well. I can't care about somebody else more than I care about myself. And if I don't care that much about me, you know you ain't nothing. So I will go ahead and mow down these people. I'll kill this person. I'll harm this person because maybe they're doing better than I am. Or maybe they're getting more love from me. Maybe I'm going to go ahead and make a music video of their dead bodies because I see all their friends and loved ones showing them so much love and concern. So I don't think they deserve that because I don't deserve that.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go ahead and inject myself. Now I'm going to take videos. Yeah. Gang, all this on top of them. So I can go ahead and belittle them and also hurt those who are showing them that much love.
Correct.
So this is why we keep pushing this, and we're at the tail end now. This is the final day of June, the last day of Men's Mental Health Month. It's not a joke. Go see somebody. Take a look up here. When's the last time you've been to a therapist, even just for a trial, just to see, what this is like? I want to explore myself. I want to get to know myself a little deeper. I don't have high self-esteem, whatever. It might seem trivial, but again, this is how you deal with other people because it's how you deal with you. It starts from within. So if you don't get this all checked out, the fruit you produce is going to be rotten. So do the work. Get to a place where you can properly care and love about yourself, where you can genuinely increase your self-worth and say, I like me.
Yeah.
And then you can do things that reflect that. So now you go from I just love myself because of the general value. Well, now you can actually have some accomplishments. I love me because I'm able to do these things. I'm able to make these things happen now. So now the love is able to manifest fruits. And as a result, the people around you can eat from those fruits and share their fruits with you. And you don't feel some type of way about it. I don't feel like you care too much about me.
Yeah.
I feel like you love me just right. Or looking at people saying, you know what? You don't love me enough.
Yeah.
Why are you trying to hold me down here and belittle me when I know that I genuinely deserve this much up here? I got to cut you off. Right?
Exactly. Well said. Well said. I want to show this video before we go into our queen check for the night. We had a phenomenal show tonight. Hopefully you guys take heed to what we're saying. It's very important for you guys to succeed and to be successful. And I think this video is a perfect video to end this out on before we go to our queen check. All right. So pay attention to what's going on in the video. All right.
Step forward if you grew up with your father in your household. Take 2 steps forward if you grew up with your father actively involved in your life. Take 1 step forward if your father provided emotional support. Take 1 step forward if your father supported your educational or career aspirations. Take 2 steps backward if your father created a toxic environment at home. Take 2 steps backwards if you had to be the man of the house. Take 2 steps backwards if your father's actions negatively impacted your sense of self-worth. Take a step forward if you could call your father right now. Take a step forward if your father demonstrated love and affection continuously. Take a step forward if you had regular, meaningful conversations with your father. Take a step forward if your father provided emotional support and guidance. Take a step backward if you felt neglected or ignored by your father.
If you just look around, you'll just see how each of us had different relationships with our father. And the purpose of this was just for the world to see and for each other to see like how we all come from different circumstances. But nevertheless, we all are successful. We didn't let us having our father there or not having our father there impact or affect how we chose to grow as individuals and how we chose to make things happen. Because some people, they'll look at it and use that as an excuse. Like, I'm still back here and you guys are all the way up there. But it didn't change how I look at life. It didn't change my outlook on myself and my self-worth. So I do want people to do this exercise and take this exercise and use it and look at it like, okay, if Milan had the circumstances and she still became successful and she still look at life and she's still optimistic about everything, I can do the same thing too. If Alex was able to create the energy and grow a multi-million-dollar brand without his father, I can do that too. It doesn't negate the fact that he probably feel a certain way about his father, but he didn't let those feelings overpower and overshadow him from becoming the man that he is today. So that was the purpose of this exercise.
Take 2 steps forward.
All right. So I just wanted to show you guys that because it shows you that everybody, even the people that's watching, all y'all that's watching us, the way I was raised is different from Major. The way I was raised was different from Bobby. Bobby is different from Major. Major is different from Bobby. But we're all successful in our own realms because we never looked at any excuses that was given to us based on what we felt like our family did not do for us in perspectives. Because there's always some things we look at and we say, oh, why didn't my father help me start a business when I was young? Why didn't they put me up on the credit game when I was young? Why didn't they do this or do that? And I think a lot of times we look in hindsight and we blame our parents versus saying, you know what, I didn't know that. Let me learn this so that way my children don't grow up with lacking in that area. And I think it's very important that we understand of breaking certain mindset and certain excuses and start putting in solutions and getting the results, whether it's for ourselves or the next generation. So I wanted to show you that collectively, everybody faces their own thing, but the common thing that they all had was they wanted to make sure that they were a better person for themselves and wanted to be productive enough to carry on and be an example for somebody else, regardless of what they went through. And they all achieved that coming from different circumstances. So I just wanted to show that and show that whoever's out there who thinks, you know, you're watching the Manifestations and you think that your life is going downhill, it's not. It's never too late. Remember, I've showed pictures and memes and articles of women that's 80 years old that's getting a college degree, or you know, you have a young lady that's been struggling her whole life. Next thing you know, she got a CDLs, and now her and her children are living a nice life. You know, it's never too late to pivot and get to the level you need to get to. It's just how long, when you look in that mirror, is it going to take you to realize I need to pivot? Once you do that, once you realize how strong you are and your potential and what you need to do to get you to that level, you're going to be good as gold. And remember, when you look into that mirror constantly, always remember the only person that can stop you is you. So even if you want to go in the mirror and you say that every day and you look at yourself and you say, man, the only person that can stop you is you. If that's your morning routine that'll help you, so be it. But I just want to give you guys the extra motivation and boost so that way you know it's never too late to get on the right track, to have the positive mentality, to break all the generational curses, to remove all the self-destructing bad habits, and to move on in a way that you can succeed. And not only you succeed, but your family succeeds as well. And if you look at the Deion Sanders and the LeVar Ball, and you have the LeBron, when you look at those gentlemen, they have always pivoted in a way to make sure that they were in a positive mindset, in a positive mind frame for their children to exceed. And that's exactly what's happening. And you're seeing the generational branch getting stronger and stronger instead of dying out. And I land my plane on that.
Well said. Very well said. It's all real, man. Like, look, that exercise was powerful. It really accentuates something that I'm always talking about, and that is, don't make excuses.com. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm heavy on that shit. Like, I don't believe in excuses. I've seen some of the people with the worst circumstances turn out to be the best people. Create opportunities for others, bring up the value of people around them. Hell, my circumstances weren't that great growing up. You know what I'm saying? Down in Liberty City, Brown Sub Projects, you know what I'm saying? Like, that was a thing, man. Like, I was dirt poor growing up, whatever the case may be. I've done pretty damn well for myself, and I've helped out a lot of people around me, and I'm fighting the good fight to be able to help more, contrast that with some people that I know who are very close to me that have an excuse for everything. That's why me and my brother can't get along. He has an excuse for everything. And at the end of the day, that just ain't it. Especially when you start talking about stuff that happened to you when you were a little kid. There's something that I call the age of adult maturity. And that's the point at which, goddammit, whatever happened to you as a child or whatever the case may be, as horrible as it may have been, I don't wish bad on anyone. And I don't dismiss people's experiences. But you have to get to the point whereas, hey, I'm a grown-ass man and I am responsible for me. That is how you avoid engaging in self-destructive behaviors. You know what I'm saying? Look, I'm responsible for me. I know I got some problems. I know some things that I need to correct. Let's just do it. I've had this conversation with people around me that I'm very close to. They're very near and dear to me. Hey, man, your diet, you need to tighten up on that.
Yeah.
You have no discipline. It's harming you. I want to see results.
Yeah.
And these are people that are my elders in some cases. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Look, man, I'm looking. If I'm going to really look out for you, I'm going to really look out for you. I'm not going to tell you the shit that you want to hear. I'm going to tell you the shit that you need to hear. And you need to act on it. Because that's the problem. A lot of us might know shit we don't act on. You feel me? And that is
execution.
That's just being a grown-ass kid. You're just an overgrown kid at that point. Or an overgrown kid with regard to some things. You know what I'm saying? Because some people, they may get this, and this right. And it's usually the things that aren't going to immediately harm you. Things that you can kind of slide and, I can slide with some pork chops and some fried chicken. I can slide and it's not going to hurt me now. So you don't really see the value in the execution. But if you want to play the long game and you want to really get it right overall, over time, you got to exercise discipline and you got to execute, period.
Exactly.
What it is.
Well said. I just want to put this in here before I forget. So we live in Miami. I just want to get this out there to the young kids that's out here watching our show because I didn't want to slip this out. But new Miami laws cracking down on the streets of takeover to end the intersection takeover. So all that, doing donuts in the intersection and blocking up the thing. Now they have laws that's put in place. So effective July 1st, right? Penalties. Participating in coordinated street takeovers with 10 or more vehicles is a felony offense with a fine ranging from 2.5 thousand to 4,000. If you obstruct a police or fire vehicle responding to the emergency while racing, take over a street or stunt driving, you get charged with a felony. Your driver's license will also be revoked for 4 years for any second or subsequent violation.
Yes.
Police can seize your vehicles for fortified forfeit, right?
Forfeiture.
Forfeiture. Okay, when the violation is a felony and your driver's license revoked for 2 years. A spectator can also be charged with a non-criminal traffic infraction and fined $400. Any car used in a misdemeanor violation can be impounded for 30 business days, whether or not the person arrested is the registered owner. This is serious, people. So all you parents out there, if we have any young adults out there, we have teenagers that might be slipping on here watching us, make sure you tell a friend to tell a friend this information. If you're a parent, make sure you're getting this off of our page. You can screenshot it, go back and play it, screenshot it, and give it to your children. Let them understand this is what we're talking about, self-destructive behavior. When they put these laws in, this can cripple your child. This can really cripple your child. Please, please, please understand this. And if you're a grown person, this can really cripple your life as well. And I land my plane on that. My bad, Bobby. I just wanted to add that in before.
Wow.
No, that's very vital info right there. That's crazy. They're attacking it from all angles too. They're serious.
Yeah.
But yeah, going back to what we were talking about, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. This ties back into what I was talking about earlier about, controlling what you can control. That particular line is from Marcus Aurelius's Meditations. That is one of my all-time favorite Hall of Fame books. It to me is very similar to the Bible, and it's a book that I find that I can pick it up anytime and read through it again, and I'm always going to get different gems out of it. It's basically a book. It's basically a journal of the Emperor Marcus Aurelius's thoughts and writings. It wasn't a book that he's writing as a self-help thing. It was just a journal of his thoughts to and for himself. And it ended up being one of the cornerstones of philosophical texts and Stoicism, as we know today. But what I like about the book and that text as a whole is it about coming to grips with basically what he just talked about, controlling what you can control. I can't do anything about the circumstances and events around me. I can't do anything about the circumstances of my birth, who I was born to, where I was raised, what experiences I had. I can't control what the people in my life have done to me or do to me. I don't have control over any of that. But the one thing I have control over is right here, my mind. I can control what I think, how I think, and in turn I can control my actions and what I do and what I say. And between those three things, what I think, what I do, and what I say, I can shape my reality the way I want to. I can do whatever actions. Now, my actions may be successful or unsuccessful, but at the very minimum, I can try. And if there's a possibility, I can make something shake. So, like you said, you could have been born into the worst circumstances known to mankind and still come out amazing. All that pressure, all that high heat can have compressed you and turned you into a diamond. And now you're actually shining on them. And on the flip side, you could have had the best circumstances possible. You could have every wind in your sails, every possible advantage you're born with, and you become, instead of a diamond, you become not even a piece of coal. You become a stinking piece of turd. Horrible. Neither set of circumstances made your fate, made your destiny defined. It could have worked the other way as well too. You could have come from horrible circumstances and you gave in and you let that make you a horrible person. You could also have had, again, every single thing in your favor, and you became an excellent person based off of that. So the circumstances, they may play a role. It might be seasoning. That might be that seasoning packet out of the ramen box. But you could determine how you're going to let it influence you. You choose. You make the decision. So ultimately, it's all down to you. Your mind is the most powerful tool that you will ever gain possession of. Not money, not fame, not status, not reputation, not firearms, nothing. The most powerful tool you'll ever have is this right here, the thing between your ears. And if you can get control of it, if you can make it work for you, if you can make it your ally and not your enemy, there's no telling what you can make pop off. However, if you refuse to take the reins, if you refuse to sit in the driver's seat and actually whip that thing, I can guarantee that I'll put the house, I'll put the mortgage on that right there. If you refuse to do that, I can guarantee the outcome of your life is going to be shitty. It's going to be an old man in the nursing home with the prune juice. Shitty. That is guaranteed. I don't care who. Now that I don't care what the circumstances are. That doesn't matter. If you refuse to do that, that outcome is guaranteed. It's only a matter of time. And Lord knows when the toilet's finally going back up. But when it does, you don't want to be staying anywhere near it.
Oh, okay. All right. That's what's up. Well said. I did want to get into our last thing, which was the Queen Check of the Night. This been here before. But you know, definitely had to bring her back. When we did her the first time, she was actually with somebody else as Queen Check. But tonight she gets her own Queen Check, and that is Angela Reese. She's made incredible WNBA history again. She has been with the double doubles. She has the Chicago Sky forward. Angela Reese made WNBA history by putting up 7 double doubles.
Wow.
In a row, the longest streak for a rookie in the league. The former LSU star set the record on Thursday in a home game win against the Dallas Wings, 83-72. Reese earned 16 points and a career high of 18 rebounds. She's been out here muscling and doing what she needs to do. Angela Reese recorded 18 points and 11 rebounds in the Chicago Sky loss to the Las Vegas. Angel. Oh, yeah, Angel. I don't know why I keep calling her Angela. Jesus. Angel Reese recorded 18 points and 11 rebounds in Chicago Sky's loss to the Los Angeles Vegas Aces on Thursday night, making her the 9th consecutive double-double. Reese is the youngest player in WNBA history to reach 9 straight double-doubles. She also tied Candace Parker for the longest streak of consecutive double-doubles in a single season.
Crazy.
All right, so
that's crazy.
Definitely shout out to Angel Reese for making history as a rookie already, despite all the Caitlin noise, the Caitlin Clark noise. She's out here doing her own thing, and mad props to her for doing that. All right, and that's it for what we have for tonight, man. You guys take us out.
Get it, mama.
Wow, wow. What a great crown check, man. That's epic. I had a listener that keeps that's like, why Anthony always say queen check when it's crown check? So I don't know. I'm just letting you know people listening to you, bro. I'm
Yeah, because I got the queen
got him
check on
slipping.
my side. I don't know why I keep saying queen check. What does it say? It say crown check, right? Yeah, crown check.
Yeah.
I guess because I see the queen on top, the little,
the crown.
Yeah, the crown.
I'm just saying. I took it this way. At least
we gonna blame it on the cursive. We gonna blame it on the cursive, right? And that's what it is. We gonna blame it on the cursive.
Hey, the sister's listening, so that's what's
Yes.
up. I appreciate that. I'm gonna talk to him about that. And
Yes,
yeah,
definitely.
keep listening though. So
Hey,
yeah,
keep it sharp though, for real.
there you go. Listen, our sister Angel Reese is doing the work. The white media loves to create a great white hope.
Yes.
And they've really gotten behind Caitlyn and talked all this Caitlyn noise. Caitlyn has never won anything at the end of the day. And look, if Caitlyn was that dominant of an athlete, I will give her props too. But, to all intents and purposes, it just looks like there's a machine behind her that's blowing her up to be more than she is.
Yeah.
Angel Reese and some of the other sisters in the league are the ones putting in the work. What's the other sisters? Aja?
Asia.
Either Aja or Aja. But she's another badass. Like
she's the league star right now.
Aja Wilson.
Yeah.
She's the league star. And I know Candace Parker from before because she was a beast with it. Now I know Aja Parker, Angel Reese, and a couple other sisters. I'm starting to watch games because of Angel Reese. Women, generally speaking, I want y'all to understand, because people always talk about how, people don't pay them what they should because of sexism, and people don't watch like they should because of sexism. It's a women's league and women don't watch it. Most of the watchers are men. Okay? So how's the sexism working out for you? If more women, and women are the dominant population in the country, there are more women than men. So if women would just decide, hey, we want to support our sisterin, they would have more viewership. They would have more people at the games, but that's not what's going on. But our sister Angel Reese is playing her ass off. Even when she got hard fouled not too long ago, they threw her on her back hard.
Yeah,
I was concerned. I'm like, shit, you know what I'm saying? She got up, shook that shit off. She thanked the girl for slamming her on her back because it's like, hey, I needed that. That woke me up. That's my welcome to the league. You dig? Yeah. She's not making excuses. She's not engaging in self-destructive behaviors. She's just putting her head down and getting it done. Shout out to that sister. I love her sportsmanship. I love and respect her talent. And I want to see her do amazing things going forward in the league. As far as the topic for tonight, self-destructive behaviors, man, it's too easy to stay away from this. It really is. You know what I'm saying? Once you start vibrating on a higher frequency and you surround yourself with better people and you engage in more self-love, like our brother Bobby Drake alluded to earlier, you just tend to stay away from the bullshit. It's really not hard to do once you get serious about it and once you grow the hell up to be a grown-ass man or grown-ass woman. There's just certain behaviors that you will not even entertain anymore. We need more of that out here. We need our behavioral code as a people. It will pay extensively going forward. You know what I'm saying? Like, real talk. I'm gonna park the Buick right there, man. You dig? I'm gonna park the Chevy.
Oh, okay, definitely. Did you guys see the interaction that Angel Reese had with another basketball player? They were just in there talking on the court. I guess it was a foul that occurred. And then the referee tried to come in like they were arguing, but they weren't arguing. They were just having like a sisterly talk on the court. And they both was like, yo, chill, man. Go do your refereeing somewhere else, man. We talking right now. Yeah. And I thought that was so dope. I think that was a great moment for sisterhood on the court. And it was really dope. It was really dope. I just wanted to add that.
In the phrase, let them play. Yeah. Let them play.
All they were doing really, it was just like two women.
They were jaw-jacking.
They were just.
It's part of the game.
Let them play. No, they wasn't even talking shit to be talking shit. They were just there, like kind of saying, like, damn, girl, I missed that play over there, man. But be like, yeah, man, I know you was over there and you came through. I almost swatted it. It was just like a real jiving, like laid back barbershop talk, and the referee came in there like it was something more than that, and they both was like, "Man, move, let us just talk, man. We're not even talking about what you think we talk about." I thought that was dope. I thought that was dope.
Got caring in professional sports now. This is ridiculous.
Yeah,
ma'am,
definitely.
go on about your business. You ain't never been around us. You know how we talk. It don't matter how loud we sound. It don't matter how that's passion. All right.
Yeah.
If you don't see no elbows flowing, if you don't see no Adidas or Nikes getting stomped on somebody, relax, chill, be good.
Definitely.
But
yeah, go
big
ahead.
ups to Angel for doing the damn thing. That's an amazing record to be tied with, and to do it as a rookie is impressive. Love Candace, shout out to Candy Parker, but I'm hoping that Angel goes ahead and breaks that record. That'll be an amazing feather in her cap for her legacy.
Yeah.
And what I admire much about her is that despite the mainstream media and unfortunately a bunch of goofballs, male and female alike, taking the whole static that really doesn't exist like that between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, trying to hype it up for their own agendas and their own nefarious purposes. And I know, especially young women, because they're active on social media, especially Angel, they see the conversation, the dialogue going on back and forth. They know what's being said. What I like and what I love is that they're not playing. I'll tip my hat to Caitlin as well, too, because for the most part, she's not in either. Neither of those young ladies is getting caught up in that avalanche of feces, is what it is. They're staying above that. They're being professionals. They're being smart. And they're focusing on the task at hand. You know, despite the mainstream media really trying to really make Caitlin Clark the great white hope, whatever, and trying to basically use her as a foil against Angel, Angel's not going for that either. She's got her head down, and she is just plain and simply doing the work. Again, she's not concerned about outside events, just talking about this. She's not worried about that. She's not giving into self-destructive behaviors, worrying about who's saying this and that and the third, whatever. She's controlling the one thing that she has absolute control over. This right here. She's controlling her mouth. She's controlling her thoughts. She's controlling her actions, and she's putting in that work. And she's out here making history, setting records, getting ready to break records. And when it's all said and done, I believe that Angel is going to have a legendary career. She's definitely going to be on the Mount Rushmore of WNBA players. I believe that. I see the skill that she plays with. She doesn't get rustled or frazzled easily. She's passionate about the game. You know, she takes her losses, and you know she might be a little hurt, but she bounces back, and she has that drive where she's like, "I'm just going to be better each and every single time." Big ups to her for really embodying what we're talking about right now. Just do the work. I said at the beginning of the show, the work gonna talk. You ain't gotta worry about none of that, man. You don't gotta defend yourself. You don't gotta bark back. You don't got look. Just put your head down, pick them shoulders up, and just barrel on through. The work gonna talk. So you can talk about Caitlin's the best. She's this. She's that. She's that. Okay, cool. Maybe she's. Maybe she's not. But I know I'm racking up these double doubles though. You see me?
How about that?
I know I'm setting this rookie record. I know I'm about to break a non-rookie record. I know that. So again, if you just keep on stacking your resume, it don't matter what the naysayers want to say about you. At the end of the day, the work gonna talk. You know, going back to somebody else that we talked about before, about LeBron James. Now, no matter how you feel about it one way or the other, whether you think that he's the number one or not, whether you think Jordan's number two or he's number two, it don't matter. But when he came in the league with all the hype, everywhere he turned, there was criticism about him. He's not that great. He's not this. He's not that. And as he's put his head down and kept on doing the work, as times went on, the critics have dropped off.
He got there.
They've had less and less to say. He's went ahead and he's turned some critics into advocates. Some of the people who used to have so much to say about him when he first started out, now they're right back there. They're his biggest cheerleaders. And you have some of the haters now who are there, and now they just look ridiculous. It's like, man, we're at this point now. You still talking? You ain't a believer, even if you don't think he's the number one.
Right.
You still hating? You still talking after all this? What else does he got to do to prove it to you? Or are you just so that dedicated towards it that you just can't give the man his props? Remember, Oscar Wilde once said, I once made but only one prayer of God, and that's to, please God, grant me the wish that my enemies look foolish. And he did. That's LeBron's prayer. That's Angel Reese's prayer. God, make all my enemies look foolish. And so far, they're looking foolish. Big ups to the sister. As we always tell you all, make sure that you like, share, subscribe. Make sure you click the little bell icon. Go ahead and subscribe to all notifications. We're not going to blow you up. You're not going to have a whole track full of notifications from us. You just going to get the odd notification when we pop up a clip. But most importantly, you're going to find out when we go live. And it's the same time, same place every single week, unless we've given you prior notice. 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time here on the Manifestations 2020 platform. We appreciate y'all. We'll catch y'all next week.
Definitely. Catch you guys next week. July, definitely have some great things in store for you guys. We appreciate everybody. And again, thank you so much for getting us over the 1,000 mark. It means a lot. We don't have content that panders to nobody. We don't have content that talks about what you want to hear. We have content that you need to hear, things that's going to motivate you and be a better person. And for us to have that over the 1,000 mark, it says a lot. You know what I'm saying? We're not here to gossip or anything like that. Just straight raw information. And we appreciate you guys embracing that. All right. And on that note, we're definitely going to be out and see you guys next week. Thank y'all so much, man. Peace.
Yeah.
Manifestations. Man up. Manifestations.
Man up.
Manifestations. Man up. Manifestations.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
Manifestations. Man up. Manifestations.
Man up.
Manifestations. Man up.
A place where we inform.
Manifestations.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
You gotta eat what you kill. You gotta go out there. You gotta hunt for your meals.
We all have that ability to connect with people, to be that motivational person in somebody's life.
You gotta let people know there's certain lines you don't cross, and that there's gonna be consequences if you do.
Man up.
If you are an adult and you are in a relationship, that person's emotions are not your responsibility.
Man up. Manifestations.
Man up.
Manifestations. Man up. Manifestations.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
The devil, during slavery, destroyed the masculinity or manhood of the so-called Negro. No man. No man. Right now you got to be trained all over again to be a man.
When someone is obligated to do something, it is binding upon them to do it. And failure to do it causes reaction.
Man up.
Position make you rich? I don't have that type of richness. My richness is life forever.
If that people knew that glorious path, if that people knew that glorious path, if that people knew that glorious path, then they would be more inclined to respect themselves.
I'm not saying I'm going to rule the world or I'm going to change the world, but I guarantee that I will spark the brain that will change the world. And that's our job, is to spark somebody else watching us.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
Manifestations. Man up. Manifestations.
Man up.
Manifestations. Man up.
A place where we inform.
Manifestations.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
You want to tell me about yourself? Go get your friends. I'll tell you who you are based on who your friends are.
Don't just live and die. That's an ugly existence. Make your life matter, make your life count. Live a life where people can actually mourn you for the things you left behind, not just because you were around and existed.
We need strong black nuclear family.
Yes. Yes.
That's what it is. Mother, father, son, daughter, all in the same house with a focus on the family unit as a whole.
We had Tulsa, Atlanta, New Jersey, Detroit. We had Rosewood. We had Black Wall Streets all over.
The Republicans aren't for us, but the Democrats aren't for us either. And we should have no alliance to any political party. We only have alliance to what is in our own best interest.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
Manifestation. Man up. Manifestation. Man up. Manifestation. Man up.
A place where we inform.
Manifestation.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
At the end of the day, as men in the community, we must stand together and be counted because people look to us for guidance, leadership, and protection. And if we are not about that business, we are not on our job. Here we have grown-ass man conversations in the spirit of that purpose. Anthony Malcolm, Bobby Drake, Major Gage, we are. This is Manifestations 2020.
Manifestation. Man up. Manifestation.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.